gotta find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find the program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue. The program. That's the first clue. We gotta find. That's the first clue. That's the first clue.
Yo, hey, what's going on, everybody? Apparently I'm part of a superhero group now. Been a good day going through it. We've got some Chibi reviews content to go through. It looks like more of the usual when it comes to Chibi. So it'll be interesting, him going after people who are doing death threats, saying things like that. I understand his whole idea behind the death threats. I understand why gets upset about them, but the way he goes about it makes it worse. Like, he can absolutely do it in a way that isn't getting him more harassment, more things like that. You can work behind with the police, but that's spoilers for what we're going through today. So let's get on over here and boop. Let me get my game up. We're gonna be playing some Kenshi today. Another like top 10 favorite of mine. Kenshi is a buggy mess to really get what's going on, guys. We are talking about victim reviews. Let's go. That's right. It's victim reviews. Glad to see everyone in today. Why isn't it coming up? Come on, you. Come on, you. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There you are. There you are. Where are you? Wow, it has a bunch of them here that are not gaming stuff. But yeah, Kenshi is one of my top 10 favorite games. At least I love going into this. I haven't even played that many hours of it, I realized. It's been fairly short amount of time. What do we got here? Game bar widgets. What is all this garbage? There she is. There she is. Boom, we'll get her up. We'll get her up on the game board. There she is. This game is a masterpiece. Like the others. It's another if you know anything about me, I play games like RimWorld or Fortress. Those are some of my favorite games. I also like tactical games, but that's a different level, on a lower level. But games where I can make a story while I play it are just the best. And that's what I'm doing with this one. I'm making an entire cast of hivers. I'm not taking anyone else but hivers. And if you don't know about Kenshi, hivers are kind of one of the weakest races. They can't wear boots. Some of them can't wear helmets. They don't generally start off with good stats, and their limbs get cut off pretty easily. They tend to have lower limb uh, placement. So we're probably only gonna do it once today, and then I'm gonna finish up the week with Void Wars. I'll make a little synopsis at the end of the week. We'll talk about it a little bit at the end of the week, and then I will find another game. So if y'all got any suggestions, guys, don't be afraid to bring them up. Send them into. You go into the Discord. You can send it to me on X. Discord is going to be the best place because it's just a list of stuff. So with all of that being said, let's get into this content. There he is. There's our boy. Chibi Reviews. So, for anyone in here who doesn't know who Chibi Reviews is, they they were, I suppose, they still are a anime content creator. They have had a long history of degenerate stuff. They kind of got into the anti-woke grift after a while. I've heard that their anime takes are bad. I can't speak on that per se. Oh no. Chat. Oh no. Guys, breaking news. Madame Savvy has a Kiwi Farms page. I'm not going to bring it up. I do not bring Kiwi Farms up on screen, but I will go over it, and maybe we can turn the content into a stream, because I've found out so many interesting things about Savvy, like how anti-Trump she was and how very lefty she was, and then we've got this new grift. Now she's always kind of done the degenerate thing. I've heard that she is a porn artist. That's what she likes to do for fun. Gay porn writer's an artist. Uh, Oh goodness. I'm gonna be looking at that later. Thank you to those who sent that to me. We love that content here. They are at to a certain extent only he only focuses on the Gooner stuff and not the actual anime he talks about. Oh, Savvy is officially up on the farms. Yep, officially. Yeah, I mean, I've only heard like rumors that his anime takes were bad, but mostly what I've followed with Chibi, so we'll get back into it. Mostly what I found about on Chibi reviews has been his Gooner stuff. His timeline is a just Gooner fest of incest comments and lolicon stuff. And I know there's some of you in the audience who don't care, some of you guys in chat who are okay with it. But for me, yeah, it's a definite I'm not I'm not okay, and I will mock him for it every chance I get. Well, not every chance I get. He's not one of the ones that I follow that often. He also has me blocked, so he can't pop up on my feed. So I have to remember to go look at him, or someone has to send a video. There's not a lot of content though. It's just a couple, one 5-minute video about his one of his little boys. He's basically all the bad weeb. Yeah, stereotypes all in one cringe package. He really is. He really is. He comes down to it. So this video currently is about a surgery that he has to take care of, and a little boy that he lost, a little friend along the way. So let's watch this. Let's watch this and see what he has to say.
Hey guys, it's pre-recorded Chibi, and the time this video is uploaded, I'm going to be in the middle of surgery
Chibi.
or about to be in the middle of surgery, and
I don't under why tell people this, right? I might mention something in the Discord or things like that, but I don't know that I'm going to make a whole video to post up about my life to people that I don't know. So already off to a good start.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm pretty nervous, because I've never actually had surgery my entire life. I mean, unless we're counting wisdom teeth removal, but I've never actually had to, let's say, go into the hospital and get surgery. Now, this might come as bad news for those that are my haters, but no, I'm not dying. Now, most of you might not care to know why I'm going.
We're going to learn about his haters, and I'll say this about his haters. He has some of the most heinous people going after him. But a lot of it is a lot of it is very much like self-inflicted. He's going to use the lawsuit money to get another ball. I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do, right? You got to do what you got to do.
Going into surgery, but for those that are somewhat interested, I'm going to reveal the embarrassing and dark, funny secrets about it. And yes, I said funny, because the entire situation is just, it has honestly been insane. Like, I can't even believe there's a surgery for it. That's literally just how insane it is. And so before I reveal exactly what it is, let me kind of explain what's going on here to the procedure and stuff. So basically, I'm going to be getting put under anesthesia. They're going to be putting me out for like 40 minutes to an hour, and the surgery isn't necessarily complicated. It's nothing life-threatening that's going to end up with me dying or anything on the operating table, but it is still scary, because obviously it's surgery. I've never experienced it, besides obviously getting wisdom teeth removed. It's definitely a new thing for me, and it's just, like I said, it's stressful. It is. I'm not going to act like it ain't. But one thing that has kept me going is obviously the support of my fiance and my friends and all that, and even some of you guys online, because I have talked about it in the community tab on YouTube and even briefly on Twitter as well, so some of you might already be aware of this. But basically, it's time to reveal actually what it is, and it's so embarrassing. You guys are gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh in the comments, guys. Like, I go for it. It's fair. I would laugh too. I mean, I am laughing.
Something you shouldn't do on the internet is tell people embarrassing things about yourself, especially when a large number of people like to go after you for embarrassing things you say on the internet. Isn't that like the whole definition of a lolcow? Not understanding the things that you're saying that are directly embarrassing. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Kamoji just mentioned that So I may end up cutting that out of the stream afterwards.
It's that embarrassing and just like unbelievable. I laughed at it. Like I laughed at the doctor when they told me. So
Kamoji's got a good point there. What's going on, Red Stain?
I have twisted testicular appendix. No, do not mistaken that for testicular torsion. That's not what I have, okay? I do not have that. The appendix is what I said there. And yes, I did not add an extra word on. Apparently, this might be too much information for a lot of people, but apparently
his mustache is straight out of a porno. Or, you know, they call that kind of the pedo mustache now. Testicular, like, why would any of your anime fans give a fuck about this testicular, it's not torsion, but whatever he said it's called. It's just like, embarrass yourself.
Guys have appendixes. Like, yeah, I'm just like, huh? Like, wait, I'm not joking. When the doctor told me this, my face, I got stunned. Like, I thought the doctor was like, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the doctor was a quack. I was like, did he just say appendix? Like, what? Like, did the words follow after that? He said appendix? I'm like, I've only ever heard of a ruptured appendix, like, you know, in the stomach, like liver, wherever region, basically. I don't know exactly where it's at in the body, but obviously up above, okay? Near, like, you know, your navel area. And when he said I had a twisted appendix, I was like, you sure you're not adding on words there? But he's like, no, apparently most guys have an appendix down there, an extra, like, part. And I'm like, why don't they teach this? Why don't they even talk about this? But yeah, apparently that's what's wrong with me, and to be fair, it's been very painful. I'm not gonna act like it hasn't. It's been pretty painful, and yes, the cosmic irony of this is not lost on me, especially as a guy that makes a lot of fan service posts and stuff like that. Feel free to laugh. It's fine. It's fair. Go for it. Meme on it. Whatever. It is fine. I'm not gonna die or anything's gonna be ruined for my life, quality life or anything like that. It's not gonna destroy anything and all that. But the point is just, it's crazy something like that could cause me to go into surgery. Something I didn't even know I had. And I think most people didn't even know existed. So yeah, that's why I'm going into surgery today. I will say that I told my fiance to record me
Uniball
leaving
Chibi.
the hospital. Like, they're gonna roll me out the wheelchair. From my knowledge, from what
Chibi encountered the testicular torsion wizard from the memes. And it went even farther. It cast a higher level spell.
what they told me, I'm most likely going to be rolled on in a wheelchair because I'm going to be under anesthesia. I'm probably going to be like drooling on myself basically because of everything. I told my fiance to record like how I look and all that. So depending on how the footage looks and what my fiance records of me after.
Why would you do that? I want to see this footage, but why would you do that to yourself? Record me while I'm under. Record me when I'm on anesthetics, like, or anesthesia. Like, why?
Post-operation, I will upload it probably on Saturday or Sunday, and you're probably wondering why. Well, I might as well make the most of it. I mean, I'm already basically spending an arm and a leg just to be able to get this surgery.
No, you're spending one ball. That's the cost. Maybe you should have seen how much you could have sold that on the black market before they took it out.
Something so stupid. So I might as well try to at least get some money out of it through making a video on it, uploading it on YouTube.
Sure,
so
okay.
If you're wondering why I'm doing it, there you go. But also, it'll be there just as some laughs, honestly. Because you guys are going to get to see me probably just like drooling on myself. So that'll be an interesting experience for the internet to see. But yeah, with that being said though, I am going to try to not miss days of uploads. For instance, I want to upload, like, for instance, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, etc. That's upcoming, because I have been uploading daily for over 3 years now, and now many might not care about that, but it's a personal goal for me. I set for myself, and I've always wanted to at least get one video up a day, and so I've been doing this for 3
grind,
years.
I suppose.
I've not missed a single day, even when I've been sick, and I'm really not going to let surgery.
I agree, Simon. Not everything needs to be content. Hey guys, my balls hurt, and one of them's gonna have to get cut off. Give me money, please. He loses a ball. Not the daily upload. Oh man, Should have spent more time, or maybe it's less time playing with your nuts. I don't know if this could be the cause.
Stop me. I'm going to try my best not to let a surgery stop me. Now, obviously, I've never been in surgery before, so it's going to be a first for me, but I want to do my best to crawl myself into this chair and record. So feel free to laugh at me in the upcoming days, you know.
You know what he could have done? Like, he's talking like this. He could have like pre-recorded a video and set it to play on the days that he's in there. Like, this is very much something he could do for his content. Well, we all know where that lawsuit money went. I have no idea. It's been so long, I remember very little about. Well, for me, I just remember very little about that lawsuit. For whatever reason, my old man mind.
Because I'm probably going to be in some pain recording.
How do people even take Chibi seriously? I have no idea. He's such a fairly large channel.
It is that time once again where
I don't want to hear that one. 491,000 subscribers. But I mean, if you look at his video now, he's got 500,000 subscribers, and it doesn't look like he's pulling in a lot of bangers anymore. 25K, 45K, 78K. I mean, he's not even getting close to 100 anymore. There's one that got close to 100. That daily upload time isn't doing him any favors. A lot of people don't look too deep into internet celebs. That is true. Most people don't look farther than the videos that their favorite content creators make. But even here, the thing with Chibi is he absolutely, tells you all of his pathetic life out in the open, right? He talks about the harassment. He shows you that even when he blocks somebody, he's opening up the posts when someone ats him or makes a comment about him. It's he wears his patheticness on his sleeve.
Oh, I can't wait, man. Well, no, I'm stressed about it, but I can't wait to see your guys' comments, because it's going to be funny. I can't wait. It's going to be hilarious to see what you guys say. But okay, I'll leave it at that. Wish me luck.
And there he is. He's lost one. He's only half a man now. If he was ever half a man. I mean, yeah, Chibi is irrelevant at this point because most people see him as a joke these days, despite his massive sub count. Well, that's the thing is like most people, when you have a character who loses their fan base, right, or they become old news or no one irrelevant, anymore, you don't see their sub count drop. Most people don't go into their list and start unsubscribing from people they don't watch anymore. There can be cases like really popular people who are in their prime, and then they do something incredibly fucked up that the whole audience is watching. You can see mass subscribers. But generally, as you fall into irrelevance, you're not going to see people leaving you, right? Dead subs. They're all dead subs. Like his poor little boy swimming in a little bucket somewhere, getting ready to be used for stem cell research. Oh man, he might have kept it. Who knows? So there's the first video, but then one was sent to me today. I was going to look at that one earlier, but we got into the Limus content. But then he's got another video that someone came up here now. This one is
about 6 years ago.
No. Spoilers. This one is someone put a bounty on my head and only a lawsuit will stop this. I don't know how a lawsuit is going to stop some internet dude from taking a bounty off of your head. But here we go.
Take a look at what's on screen right now. Just look at that.
All right.
These.
To the man who doxed Chibi reviews, I'll cash app you 5K to assassinate this man. No bullshit. Yeah, this is a fucked up tweet from a fucked up person. I absolutely agree. In fact, let's look at one thing here. I'm not even going to get much Kenshi played today. I just know it. So I'm going to keep doing this. I was thinking about looking this up earlier. He's probably gone. My guess is he's been at. Nope, he's gone. Yep. Gone, gone, gone. Which he should be, right? Making those kind of death threats online goes against terms and conditions. They should. They should. Rev is going down that route at this point too, since most of his uploads struggle to get past 100K views. Yeah. Notice how the anti woke is losing movement. Even Grums is losing momentum. Is he? Is he though? I think he has gotten the tags he needs, because I remember Kamoji saying he's actually gained subs or gained followers at least from his stuff. Now his message today, right before we go into this video, that was shown to me in chat, or no, excuse me, on Discord, is kind of insane. Like I'm convinced at this point. I'm absolutely convinced at this point that he doesn't even touch his account anymore. Uh Everyone else, he's a nobody or a joke. Well, yeah, to the entire gaming industry, he's a nobody and a joke. So what he's probably going to try and do is switch over into politics. So Savvy starts talking about Dustborn, and he says Concord used music from Shutterstock. Savvy finds out when YouTube flags her old video. I don't know. I've been following his Venezuela posts. He only gets 30 to 50 comments. Grums's timeline is almost all politics. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been seeing. Even some of the other guys, Smash JT is all politics. 8-Bit Eric does a lot of politics stuff now. They do a couple of things. 8-Bit and Smash both do some kind of one-liner that they post over and over and over again. And then the rest of it is like politics, with 8-Bit trying to hang on to that I'm a gaming news channel, but I don't think anyone watches it from that point. So there it is. Let's see here. But yeah, it's so pathetic. Like I think an AI controls his account now. I don't think he actually gets on and does anything. Uh, I think it's just straight up um, straight up some AI writing it, and that's why it said Concord here. Not to mention that the chances are that most of the engagement Grums gets is probably botted anyway. He's already been caught botting likes, so yeah. Did he get caught botting likes? I don't know that he's ever been caught botting likes. I know people have suspected that he bots his likes. Maybe it's Pirate controlling his account. It could be. It could very well be Pirate controlling his account. I think at one point Pirate was the only person subscribed to his X account, which I don't understand subscribing to X accounts. But yeah, I guess that happens. It is. He's going to go away into the political sphere because he thinks that that's the way to go. Oh, he got caught botting likes when he got ratioed by Ubisoft during the AC Shadow saga. Was it what did he like buy bots to get over the hill with it, or was it just his ratio of comments to yeah, send it to me on the Discord, because I know that's around the time that they were saying he bought it, but I don't know that I ever saw any evidence of it. Maybe I missed this. Let's see here. Oop. Do. I love how you're talking about botting when when your reply went from 47K likes. Oh yeah, 30K likes, and then back down to 9K likes. 30K, 9K. Is there a bigger one? That's crazy. 9 hours ago. 9 hours ago. Jesus. Even if it was the opposite way, 9 to 30K, in an hour off of it just seems like extreme, right? Within minutes of each other.
These same people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he tried to clap back, and the amount of likes he got from the post began going down by insane amount a few hours later. Yeah, it probably meant that X was catching the bots and taking away, closing the accounts, which was taking down the likes. Hold on. So let's continue on with Grums being his pathetic self. And it also fits, let me say this, it also fits with the fact when it comes to Grums that he's talking less and less about Ember. He's taking it off of, his accounts and everything else because he's looking to move into politics. He can't keep getting hit for gaming fraud or alleged gaming fraud, we should say. So, but let's get back to Chibi and his reviews and this like victimhood that he adds to it, which only causes him more hate. He could easily be doing this from the background.
Will say, I have no reason to do a lawsuit. They will say there is no evidence of doxing. They will say that I am trying to scam my viewers, my followers, into donating for a funding for this lawsuit. And these same people will straight up put a hit on my head and say, we need to get rid of this man.
Here's the thing, too. Like, I get it, bud. This guy will say it, and there are people that will say it, but you're just using it as a means to disregard all criticism. If anyone says anything negative about you, if someone says they think you're scamming, they're one of the people who's threatening your life. And that's just not how it works, right? That's just not what happens.
Even if this person said for legal reasons, 'tis a joke, he violated the rules. But not just Twitter rules.
Well, he did violate
It's
Twitter
breaking
rules.
the law. This is straight up breaking the law, what they did when they put a hit out on me. Thankfully, Twitter has since suspended the...
It's actually not. Well, let me say it. I'm not going to say for definite it's not, but it's definitely not 100% a crime. There is a lot of nuance when it comes to threats online or anywhere else in the First Amendment. Threats are protected by the First Amendment as long as there is no serious threat involved. And even the guy saying, no, I'm serious, isn't necessarily a serious threat. It could be. It could be. Imagine his lawyer said he got no case and he's scrambling to bury this debacle. I mean, it could be. It very well could be. The problem is like I said, it's protected. No one wants to read into the nuances of it. Everyone wants to say, oh, look, Twitter AI or Google AI said it is against the law. It can be. It very much can be. And it might be soon with the current administration that we have. But that's neither here nor there. Whoop.
The account for obvious reasons, but I think there is a lot that needs to be talked about. Today, let's expose a few individuals that have been actively propagating hatred and harassment towards me and enabling stuff like this, but also give some evidence to one individual that is somewhat responsible, maybe more.
It's funny hearing him call this evidence, because I guarantee you it's not. Like, it's not going to be definitive proof. I'm guessing it's going to be like this Abyss channel, and it's probably a fucking burner account.
And that for everything that has happened. So, let's dive headfirst into it. First off, let's start small. Let's give evidence to the defamation campaign.
Oh, God.
This right here.
This is... This is an insane person. Look at this. Look at this. What are you even talking about? What is it with these people and making a storyboard of clips that could or could not be in context? Oh God, I hope he brings it. Oh, this is a I'm pathetic board.
is just
We love
a little
collages. We
bit
do.
of post of the day I got suspended last week for Twitter. Now, this is definitely related to the whole situation with the defamation and doxing and all that because of just the legal
Because you say
damage
it
and
is.
just the damage it's done to me as a person, my brand, my family. It's just done a lot. And even if all these individuals, don't really know what they're doing, it showcases
So,
the overwhelming
hold
amount
on.
of people that genuinely
This guy that just posted something that says Hitler is dead is somehow like you can't make a joke or talk about it at all.
believe that I'm basically the spawn of
Pathetic.
Hitler, or Hitler himself,
Oh,
or a
he even
pedophile.
said it. Oh no, someone called you a Nazi. I've never heard that one before.
That is legitimately what you see here with a lot of these screenshots.
It's not
Actively
illegal.
happy that my platformer, I was deplatformed because of the online harassment.
I don't agree with deplatforming people. I even saw that someone took down false flagged Eric's Twitter account for hateful content. Don't do that fucking shit. One, it's generally they're gonna get back up and it gives them something to talk about. Two, like I don't believe in deplatforming people. Like if I deplatform the people that I make fun of, then I have no one to make fun of.
Harassment that will just not leave me alone. So what I want to say here is this is just
Every single tweet. These people are so fucking weak. Every tweet that laughs at you or makes a joke about you or says that they don't like you or is happy that you got deplatformed, they're all harassing you. It's the weakest shit. We just saw this with Limus and that fucking Marco guy. They're both so pathetic that if they tweet each other, they're freaking harassing them. Chibi reviews, if you tweet him anything a little mean, you're harassing him.
just a small little glimpse into some of the stuff
Small little glimpse into the absolute insanity
that
is
I'm going to be
Chibi
showcasing.
reviews.
But yeah, all these people have been continuously enabling what has happened, for instance, with this. They're also individuals that continuously jump on in their little groups and try to downplay everything I do to make it seem like a joke to enable more harassment against me. I know who you are. I've taken a lot of screenshots, gaining a lot of evidence, and you best be worried. That's all I'm going to say.
I feel so sorry for the FBI agent that's going to get this collage. Sir, I've got all the evidence. I've been doing my own investigations. Here it is. What the fuck is this? I can't do anything with this. Oh.
Anyways, let's get into one individual that definitely I might have to add more information into. But this is CJ. He is obviously mocking my current ongoing crowdfunding. FYI, for those that aren't aware, about a day ago, about 24 hours ago, I opened up a GoFundMe basically for my lawsuit. Here's the what it is. I cover exactly what happened, how much needs to be raised, and all that.
Didn't even look at this lawsuit stuff. So let's find this lawsuit. Let's take a look, because maybe I just completely missed this content. I haven't looked at Chibi in a while. Does he? Oh, he has the GoFundMe right here. Yay. Yay, guys. We have the GoFundMe. Yay. He's so paranoid he might end up in a straitjacket. I mean, look at that. Like, if you brought that to a... Did he take the GoFundMe down? Oh, okay. It's already done. My family appreciates all I seriously do. Made an official statement. Yeah, he took it down. Okay. Did he take it down early, or is it just over with? No, because it would still be up there if it was already paid out, right? You posted something talking about it earlier in Discord. I must have missed that.
And we've already raised over 5,000. Thank you, literally, for everyone that has donated
Jesus
to this
Christ.
cause. There is so many people that have helped.
Like these YouTube and Twitter content creator people like begging for money is just insane. Like these people start like Chibi Reviews looks like he started making out really good money if he got up to 500K, almost 500K, but none of it was put away or anything like that. So now he's having to do a GoFundMe, or worse is the ones that do it and they are still making bank. Allegedly. Oh, is that the one? Let me look here. Go up there. Do it now. Oh, okay. Yeah, he took the money and ran. Yeah, I missed that. I missed that one. That's hilarious. Allegedly. So, like, he ended it early. So, did someone come into him and be like, "Hey, bud, this is a bad idea. Here's my 2 bits. If he lives in a nice neighborhood, I doubt people will hurt him." So, there are things that have happened with Chibi that could be considered like viable threats. People have shown up at his brother's grave. He got a legitimate bomb threat, right? The problem with Chibi when it comes to all this stuff is he gets online and makes it worse. Like the reason it got so bad with Chibi is he decided he was going to go on a campaign to go after the people on Soy Jack that were that were making fun of him. And what it turned into was what Soy Jack does. Soy Jack, they're one of like they make kiwi farms look like a nice place to go. And it turned into this huge harassment campaign against him. They don't just, one guy makes a threat on you. They go all out. He was getting called out about so much that it's probably got to him and he decided just to take the money and run. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I could think of is he just, because it's not a good idea. Half it, like, look at his collage. Look at this fucking collage. And what is he even going to sue for, and who is he suing? He says he's saving up money for a lawsuit. Has he talked to a lawyer yet? Like, at least Smash, I believe, talked to his lawyer before he decided to start begging for money, right? And in the beginning, there can be some legitimate case. I really had no problem with him asking for money in the beginning, especially when I thought it was just about the defamation stuff. The 200K, that's a little bit different. And what I've learned so far, but it's like, who is he suing? Soy Jack? They're never going to find any of those people. The FBI may know some of them that are already on their list, but that doesn't mean there's enough evidence from Chibi Reviews to put them in jail for anything. And
I greatly appreciate it. I was only able to do something like this thanks to Legal Mindset. He's the one that helped me out, by the way,
yeah,
to set this stuff up. He's been very supportive. He gave me a lot of information. He was very transparent about what I needed to do.
I agree, Kimoji. They go nuclear. Like they don't do it. Like there are people who are afraid to say their name because they don't want to dredge up the kind of stuff that they'll do. And I don't blame people for not wanting to say their name. I'm not going to start some campaign against them. I wouldn't even start a campaign against the farms or anything like that. You just have to. You have to. If you're going to do something, say with the bomb threat stuff, don't put that out in the open. That bothers you. He was working with the FBI. Do it that way. Don't make the FBI's job harder, letting those people know that the FBI is looking for them. He's trying to get a lawyer and costs him money every time he got in contact with one. Okay, yeah, that's how it works. But it sounds like if you had to get in touch with multiple ones, they probably told him there's no case. Pathetic.
And I appreciate him. This is a really good man, and I thank you a lot. I send you a lot of love. I appreciate you trying to help me out. But getting back into
Legal Mindset is the worst.
This man, every twist and turn, he's always a part of the group that actively enables harassment and, interacts with people that are even responsible for the doxing. Don't believe me? Let's get some evidence. So, I came back when my Twitter got unsuspended, and I saw this man contact.
Do you see how much fun this game is? Do you see how much fun this game is.
acting at Namek, as you can see here. You might not know who this is. I'll give some information and some lore to that in just a second. But he basically started adding an individual that is very important to this whole situation, and laughing at me, basically saying my family is in danger, my life is getting ruined.
Legal Mindset giving him tips on how to avoid the internet version of a debt collector. Chibi's a clear case of feeding the trolls when you shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely call him a lolcow in the way that he will just never stop. He never understands that no matter how many people say, hey, you probably shouldn't do this, right? You should probably, back off a little bit and work it in the shadows. No, he won't. He's got to say something. But then again, he does stupid shit like this collage of people that are making fun of him and showing I mean, give it a couple of years when his channel's not going to die out. He's going to start doing IRL content and just be on the streets like some of these other guys out there.
Ruined, all that, stuff.
On the streets begging for incest.
Basically. And also helping that group to find out and harass me even more in my YouTube comment section. And so, as you can see here, he deleted this. He actually deleted this post. You're probably wondering why. Well, I called him out for it. I straight up called him out for it. You can see me. I messaged him right here. I was like, this man is actively supporting and talking with the person that was responsible for getting me doxxed months ago. I know what you are, because they put illegal content on my DeviantArt. I've censored this picture for obvious reasons, but...
Dude, he's still going with the, they hacked my DeviantArt and put all the children on there. If you don't know about this, when Soyjack went after him, they hacked his DeviantArt page. And they were already suspicious of him. It was already known he was a lolicon. So they started looking through his DeviantArt, and apparently there was a ton of underage girls that were in like bikinis and stuff like that he had liked stuff on them. I doubt, pretty sure he'll end up on the streets because his family kicked him out on his ass. I mean, I couldn't imagine living with this guy. But yeah, so he got caught. They posted a bunch of pictures of his DeviantArt page and these underage girls that he had liked, and there was already proof that like the dates of when they were done, like it wasn't done the moment it happened. But he's been sticking with the story that they added the children to his DeviantArt. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, this is an individual that is the doxer, straight up connected with Namek, that the person I'm going to be talking about. But
yeah,
that post that
I
quote retweeted, as you can see, it has been since deleted. I'll open it up. Post is deleted. CJ likes to hide when there's some very incriminating evidence, very apparent. It makes sense. I mean, especially
laughing at a tweet, regardless of what it is not incriminating evidence. You can argue that he's like spreading it farther, because I've done that before myself. But he's not like... he may have done other stuff. If I remember reading about, CJ may have done some other stuff. I don't remember if he's one of the more hardcore guys, but laughing at said tweet is not incriminating evidence.
Especially when a lawsuit is being built. But for some reason, you keep wanting to dip your hand in the cookie jar.
Is CJ that guy? No, there's no way, because I'm pretty sure that guy got arrested, unless CJ got out for it. I might have to look a little deeper into that.
Keep wanting to clout farm off my name when it's very clear you're on the bad side.
The clout farm, not only are they harassing and threatening me, they're clout farming too.
Now, let's get into Namek. Since we're on that topic, that's the big one. This individual, Namek, that I'm going to be talking about, he is quite a fascinating one. This man has went above and beyond to incriminate himself.
What you'll notice here is this little block. When I first saw Chibi talking about stuff, I wasn't sure what this block meant. Like, why does it say blocked here, but he can still see the tweet isn't blocked, supposed to, not let you see this stuff? Well, yes and no. Anyone who @s you, anyone who, does anything like that mention, makes, well, you can't make comments. So @s you pretty much. you can see like this person is blocked. And then there's a little button that you can click that says read this message, which if you blocked them because you didn't want to see their messages, why are you viewing them? Just block them and get over it. Well, I know it's because he's blocked them, but like, why is he seeing the blocked message? Because he's clicking on the blocked message. He's clicking on messages of people who he's blocked to read what they're saying about him over and over and over again. Yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly. You can make the C message invisible too. So he could just make it so that the C message is gone and he can't see it, but he can't help himself. If someone's adding him, that means they're talking about him. He has to go in and look at it.
In every single turn on what has happened to me. I'm going to have some of the bottom section censored here. The reason for that is because that is the link to my brother's obituary. Yeah,
that was fucked up. I agree. Why are
it's
you?
Not just the fact
why
that he
are
says,
you? And this is all the same content. This is the same stuff that's already happened to him. He's got to have the last word. Yeah, he's very much got to have the last word. He can't not say something about it. And he's signal boosting it on his channel right now. Hey, if you go to this Namkai's guy stuff, you can see my brother's obituary. Why do that? Why give it more clout or more presence than it needs?
Owner of Chibi Reviews, but it goes much deeper than this. He put my brother's obituary in his bio. He has made numerous posts basically
giving the hater watchers the might have missed this the opportunity to see it. Yeah, exactly. The people who are hate watching him go, oh yeah, okay, let me go check that out.
Showcasing what he has done, that he has doxed my brother's grave and stuff. He is an individual that is scared now of legal action.
Can you dox a dead man? I mean, that seems a little over a bit of a stretch. I do agree it's incredibly insane to go to the grave and, you know, smoke a joint like they did.
That he needs to get a lawyer to. He made this post literally a week ago. He also, if you take a look here, that since this is Ghost Archives, you look on the right here, you can literally see what he has in his bio here. That's no longer there. You literally see him say, owner of Chibi Reviews, we smoking on Eddie.
He does this every single time too. At this point, I think he's playing it up, right? Because the first time I watched him talk about we smoking on your brother's grave, he did the exact same thing. If it is mind fucking you to that point that you can't even talk about it, stop talking about it, right? You're either doing that or you're trying to be performative because you wanted people to pay for your lawsuit that you shut down. Because a lot of this is old content. We already know these things that they've done. I was hoping that there would be new, haters that you could go after.
That's my brother.
I mean, this is October 7th, 2024.
Brother's name. That's my brother.
So not insanely long
And then he's
ago.
like, res your mans. Obviously, it's very apparent what he's doing there. Slide for Eddie.
He's doing it because he gets a rise.
I have reported, by the way, many times to Twitter. They've done nothing. But I guess it's better that he's not gone, for obvious reasons. Lawsuit. But what I'm trying to say is that there is a lot of evidence against this man that he has actively went after me. Now, how is he affiliated with the doxing friend? Well, let's get into that. Let's show that evidence. So right here, this is a video I made when the doxing happened back in
about 1 minute and 14 second mark.
October. I made a video covering the people that were responsible for giving my information to my brother's grave, to my family, everything like that. And you can see him self-incriminate himself literally in the forum that was actively going after me. At the 1 minute 14 second mark, he incriminates himself, and the person on screen is literally Namek. And then you can see here, I actually have to lawyer.
What is the 1 minute and 14 second? Oh yeah, this is all old content. I have to lawyer up now. He showed my Twitter in his latest video. See you chuds later. Wish me the best. I'm pretty sure that's a joke, saying that, oh no, you showed my Twitter, I'm gonna have to sue you. with you constantly threatening lawsuits against people for showing stuff of you, right? Yours is a little bit more heinous, but they're making a joke.
You're up now. He showed my Twitter in his latest video. See ya chuds later. Wish me the best.
Do you even know this guy's
Clearly not a
real
smart
name that you
individual.
could
That's all I'm
actually
gonna
go
say.
through and...
Not a very smart individual whatsoever. And I want to be honest with you. It's not about getting money back or anything like that. Even though you actually have harmed me in other ways too, actually. Let's showcase that. This post right here is me losing a sponsorship. I lost a sponsorship back in October because of the whole situation with the doxing. Because of how heated it got and just everything that happened, I lost a sponsorship.
Boo-hoo.
Sponsorships, actually. I lost my profile picture. I don't want to do this to an individual, but you know why my profile picture changed? It's because the person that made my profile picture, my previous one, didn't want to be associated with me anymore because of all this stuff that was going down. So it's not the fact that my brand image was taken away from me, but I lost sponsorships.
I mean, I don't know that I don't know that you would have held onto those sponsorships much longer. But yeah, when a lot of drama and stuff like that happens with it, yeah, that's what's going to happen. You know what you could do to mitigate that? Shut the fuck up on your channel about it, on main at least. Don't feed it to these people. Yeah, maybe you lost the sponsorship for other reasons too. That could be a possibility. But even if you think it's for this, it's because you're constantly doing it online. You're constantly bringing up this drama. Why would sponsorships want to be involved with somebody who's constantly stirring the pot to try and make this happen? I absolutely go after these people if you want to. That's fine. Go after them. Do what you need to do. Don't bring it up on main.
Yes. Now,
don't bring it up anywhere.
Let's get into the
online,
next
in my
stuff.
opinion.
People like to say the doxing did not happen. People like to say that there was nothing put on my account. Well, I have evidence for that as well. This right here is from the forums that was actively disclosing my information. They nuked the entire thread. This is the post that literally made it. Hello, I killed this thread about Chibi reviews due to it having very bad information and being hijacked by malicious groups. I know.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that it got closed. That's a rarity. But I guess it's because... Hey, but at least you still have the Dragon's Treasure sponsoring you with his lame-ass dropship tea. Oh, okay. Hello, you killed the thread due to Chibi reviews with bad information. So they're closing it down for bad information and being hijacked by malicious groups. I know a little about Chibi myself. I rarely delete anything from here. But there was no solid evidence of him having real CP. Also, please read the rules again where it says that you should not launch a raid because a whisper on the rumor of an allegation. Yeah. So this is the thing I'll say about the farms is they do have like strict rules. I think they should cut out the actual stuff where they're putting PPI on there. I think that's absolutely unhinged and it causes things like this to happen. I mean, it's going to go up in other places, of course, but at least do that side of it. But I really, other than the doxing portion of it, I don't have a lot of problems with the farms. And they do it's don't touch the poo. That's the motto. We already that the loser has zero standards. Yeah.
Little about Chibi himself. Regardless of the situation, I appreciate the transparency and honesty here, even obviously though it's led to a lot of problems for me. I do admit, even if it is a good deed sometimes, a small good deed, that the thread was nuked. Shoutouts to that. I will give positivity to that. Because obviously they straight up admit that everything that was going on against me was basically straight up a lie. So, yeah.
No, they didn't say everything. They did not say everything. Shut the fuck up. You read it, bud. You just read what they said they got it around for. That there was no proof of the CP. That's what they're getting at. And I agree. I think you're I've never seen anything besides you liking underage girls on that on that deviant art, but that's not evidence of you doing anything. That's just evidence of you being creepy and potentially a predator. But he's never had anything that I've seen of him talking to minors. I've never seen anything with him, his Discord having problems. No real evidence for it. And that's why they took it down. Let's be for real. The thread got deleted because it was fail docs. Yeah, probably. Wait, who's fail docs? Did I just freaking... Or what is fail docs? Now I have to look it up. Old man. Oh, no. Either way, old man, no. But I mean, they took it down because there was what they knew were lies. Like they are big on evidence, whether you believe that or not, when it comes to it.
Now, they say I rarely delete anything from here, but we had no solid evidence of him having real. You can see the word. I can't read it out for YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
It says it right here.
Yeah.
Also, please.
Well, I mean, I know for certain that his brother's grave has been, not vandalized per se, but they have taken pictures of it. And I do know originally his address was out in the open on his YouTube front page or on his YouTube profile for people to send him stuff, which was a bad move. But yeah, I don't know that they did any actual other information and doxing and things like that. I think it's all been mostly the internet, at least from what I've seen.
Read the rules again, where it says what you should not do. Launch a raid because of a whisper on the wind/rumor of an allegation. Now, that means that whoever whispered them, we know who it is. I've already shown him in the video. It's very apparent. Now, here is the evidence that my DeviantArt account was hijacked and illegal content was put into it. They literally admit themselves they hacked into it, and there was nothing interesting, though, and they started editing his bio as a gem.
Okay,
to give some disclosure...
Hold on. Megan, no, there was more to it than this. Maybe I'm wrong. I edited the bio as a gem. Okay, they did say that. It's hard to take this shit seriously when every post has a soy jack edit. Yeah. I mean, it's like you're just digging yourself. Like it's victim mentality. Like, oh, I'm the victim. Look how sad and pathetic I am. Look at all the things that people make fun of me for being sad and pathetic. Look at the people who are being really mean to me. I don't know why people do this.
Here. Basically, they post my passwords here on the forum. Someone got onto the forum, hacked into the account, and started posting illegal content. And that's what led to the account, which is still currently suspended. It's gone.
I was never aware, he's saying this, but me going through it, it was never, like, illegal content. People were saying, like I said, it was very minimum. People were saying that he was liking, like, underage girl pictures. Nothing that was illegal. I don't think there was anything mentioned of actual CP.
Yes, they have actively went into my account, and now there's people that have tried to backtrack and say, it was there was always there, but there's evidence to showcase they hacked into it, and
yeah, they hacked into it.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that
the thing now is with the farms thing taken down, I can't double check on it unless it's somewhere else, and even then I really don't want to.
People like to say I'm lying. People like to say I have no evidence to back up my claims, and I've been very transparent about everything. So I guess let's talk about this. I made this because of the actual advice, the legal advice from Legal Mindset.
And as we've seen now, this was a bad move.
Very good man. I talked about him at the beginning of this video, but it was thanks to him why I even decided to set this up. Because honestly, I had a lot of pride and ego in me.
Yeah, there is probably
really
an
not
somewhere.
I'm
just not going digging through the web.
I'll talk about that in a second. But basically, thanks to him, I set this up, thanks to his counsel. And I did some research into it, and apparently, like, GoFundMe can easily be reported down from some malicious groups. I think it happened to Smash as well, relatively recently, with his current defamation case, with the doxing and stuff. So
it's not a defamation case, and Smash was doxed a long time ago. Don't test me on this stuff.
it makes a lot of sense, and I think now he is on Give Sin Go too. So the point I'm trying to make is the reason why it's on this instead of, let's say, you know, GoFundMe, is because this is definitely safer for it's not, you know, taken down. But on top of that as well, apparently from what I found out from Legal Mindset, this is what he told me. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say, but he told me that you can't actually use donation funds for lawsuits if it's from, like, Ko-fi or whatever, I can't pronounce it, and different stuff like that. So that is why I didn't go through that as well, because you can't actually use those donation funds for it. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just going from his counsel.
It's your own personal money you pull out. How would they know that the money that you're using is from coffee? I don't think that's right. Like, I'm not a lawyer. Maybe I'm wrong, but the donations that you could send me on coffee if you want me to buy more indie games, pinned comment. You don't have to. All that's really I would like y'all to do is send or like the stream so that I can get a little bit farther. Working on that road to 500. My next goal is 200. Hoping to get that, you know, another 100 by the end of the year would be great. So like the stream, subscribe, and all that jazz. Now that my grift's over with, I just don't think he's right with that.
So what I'm saying is the reason why I did this is because I can use the funds for...
Because what makes coffee any different than super chats or what are the other ways you can do it, like Twitch tips and bits and all of that other stuff? Like what would make coffee so that you can't use it for a lawsuit? Then once it's in your PayPal account and it moves to or even directly into your business account, right?
A lawsuit. Now, with that basis being said, let's talk about this. So, as you can see here, already over 5,000 has been donated to this lawsuit. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I didn't expect it to even come this far. I'm going to be blunt. I know a lot of you guys love me and all that, but I just, like, seeing the overwhelming support, it means
your streams would say
so
otherwise,
much to me,
and
more
all the
than
hate
anything,
you show would
honestly.
say otherwise.
It'll help me get some of these individuals that are responsible, but actually get criminal charges against them because of everything that's happened. They like to think they can hide up behind an anonymous...
That's not always how it works, though, right? Like, in Alyssa Mercante case, things like that, she's not going to get Smash put in jail for these things. She's going to try and stop the harassment, whatever her, thought process is with that. That's when you're trying to run these cases, there's no guarantee it's going to go to any kind of legal evidence unless there's overwhelming evidence. I mean, let's look at Trump and the SA stuff and all of that. Like, he didn't do any jail time for any of that.
profile, but it's very easy for information to be gathered, especially when the FBI is involved. So what I'm trying to say is that in general,
I feel sorry for the FBI.
I made this GoFundMe, or this Give Sin Go donation, because I actually need help. It is a lot of money for a lawyer. I'm just going to be blunt with you.
Lawsuit.
I've done a lot of research into this, and the normal defamation case and stuff like this, with all the different stuff that I'm going to have to do, it's going to cost about...
I hate when people say, like, I've done a lot of research into this. No, you haven't. You already said you don't know anything about the law. You have apparently gone to other lawyers, and the first one to tell you what you wanted to hear was Legal Mindset, a guy who's not even a lawyer in the United States anymore. A little bit of my sody there.
About $15,000 to $25,000. That's so much money. That is so much money, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't have that money. I have went out of my way to try to sell stuff as well, but nowhere is going to be able to cover this cost. It's not. It can't. It's a lot. It is. I have been told that I could get hopefully I pronounce it right, a plaintiff lawyer. Forgive me if I say it wrong.
Are you fucking kidding me with this guy? You're going into this lawsuit after being told by a lawyer who doesn't work in the United States anymore that you can sue, and you don't even know like the basics of it, a plaintiff or anything like that. What research did you do?
Wrong. But apparently there is a lawyer I can get that
you become the plaintiff in the case. Your lawyer will be a type of lawyer, defamation, criminal justice, things like that. And you are the plaintiff, and the other person is the defendant. We're cooked. The U.S. education system is fucking cooked.
Basically will only ask for funds if I win, and I'm very certain I'm going to win. I have no doubt in my mind, like, at all. Like, I am 100%.
So have so many other people that go into a lawsuit and end up not winning.
Certain I'm going to win this.
Everyone thinks they're in the right until the judge makes that determination.
This case, there's just too much evidence I have right now to really say that it's just going to be a straight L and a loss. But what I will say is, it's just, I'm going to be honest, the lawsuit would drive me into bankruptcy if I was to just do it all on my own. I'm going to be blunt. It would. It would drive me into bankruptcy, and I would have nothing. I mean, at the end of the day, it might be worth it, but I do have a fiance, someone I love, and someone that I'm trying to, make a family with. So that's another reason on top of that. Going into bankruptcy, if I was by myself, I would probably do it.
Hindsight is 2026.
Probably would. But I'm not alone, so I can't do that to my fiance. That's not good. It would not be good to definitely start.
But you're doing it to her regardless.
So what?
He thinks this paltry little $25,000 is the whole lawsuit, right? Obviously, he's closed it down since then, but no, it's not. Smash got $60,000 for his defense lawsuit, and his defense lawyer, and he is absolutely having to beg for more money, absolutely having to pay for more money, because it's not just drop a little bit of money. This is going to throw you into bankruptcy. In fact, if you were to say go through this lawsuit and it didn't go through, you would waste your money because you would run out of money and have to drop the case.
What I'm trying to say is that any support that you guys send here helps. I have been, and my family has been, the target of harassment for months upon months, and it is unending. I've tried to ignore it, I've tried to just block, I've tried to move on, I've tried not to talk about it, but it keeps happening. And then the same individuals that keep harassing me like to say, or people that fence sit, like to say, Chibi, if you didn't post, bait post, if you
talking about me, yes,
post, things that are just talking about manga and anime.
He's also talking about people that probably have no money. We're talking about, guys in forums on the internet. These dudes probably aren't banking cash to even pay for the lawsuit.
You wouldn't get harassed. You wouldn't have gotten doxxed. That's what these people try to use to justify everything that's happened. It's crazy, man.
Oh, well, no, I didn't say that. I know he doesn't probably even remember my name, even though all the other anti-wokers do. But yeah, you are making it worse just by talking about it. Don't lump me and others in with the people that are saying you weren't doxxed and things like that. You are clearly talking about these specific harassments and re-showing it over and over and over again. This video is a copy and paste of the other video, and I'm sure there's another one that I haven't even seen yet of you showing the same screenshots, the same people over and over and over again begging for sympathy. It's not even his bait or degenerate post. It's that he keeps engaging nonstop. That's what it is. He is the very definition of feeding the trolls. Well, despite these YouTubers having so many revenue incomes, shilling sponsorships, ad revenue, super chat, subscription services like Patreon, yet they still want the fans to bankroll their lawsuits. Yeah, it's fucking nuts to me. It's absolutely crazy how pathetic this is when it comes to these YouTubers. Like, where's all this money that he was making gone? It's pretty clear he's living at his mom's house. He's living at his parents' house. So his bills can't be that expensive. What has he been spending his money on?
It's actually crazy. I know I'm not the best person in the world. I am very well aware of that.
You're not even
I'm willing
close to a good
admit that.
person.
But holy crap, trying to justify doxing and harassment, not just to me, but to my family,
No
and the
one's
desecration of my
justifying
brother's grave, because I post cringe post on Twitter? You lost the plot. So I'm making this to basically just talk about the whole situation, get the Give Send Go out there, and if you guys do want to donate, I would appreciate it. I will be as transparent.
I would, Chibi. I would definitely donate to your pathetic attempt to go after these internet trolls, but you took the page down, so I can't.
As possible, as much as I possibly can be, with legal expenses and everything, you know, with the lawyer, whatever I can, I will do the best I possibly can. But that's about it. That's it.
All right, there it is.
So, thank you.
There it is. Chibi reviews, still pathetic. Still. I mean, so did he close the lawsuit and he just took the money, right? He closed the GoFundMe and he just took the money. Or Give, Send, Go. So, like, he didn't return it to the people? That just makes it seem like a scam. These people that were nice enough, I'll be nice enough to think that they could help fund your lawsuit for what is obviously like unhinged and out of control people. And they they're now out on the money. It's just your money now. I want to remind you that Eric Young Ripa had a wife, his own house, and was still able to drop $100K of his own money on his business venture of comics. Yeah. Well, some can make it, and then some are Chibi reviews. Ooh, here we go. Get in there on them suckers. All right. Where's Beep at? Beep. Oh, you don't have a weapon, do you? Yeah, you do. You have a weapon. Get your ass in there. Get your ass in there, Beep. Get him. Yeah. Oh. I think Beep is fighting with a guy on his shoulder. Yeah, yes, he is. Beep, you can put that guy down. Oh, okay. Anyway, let's get back to the next point. Eric is smart. He crowdfunds his comics. And crowdfunding is a great way to do things. I don't know much. Young Ripa. I remember hearing about that. He's one of the anti-wokers. Okay. He does pre-orders, which absolutely funds the product lines and shit. But the startup for his warehouse artist employees in the beginning was all him. That's cool. It's the thing is like a lot of these super rich YouTubers and stuff like that, they don't do that, right? They say, hey, I'm going to do a crowdfund for it. And there are great things that come out of crowdfund. The current D&D campaign I'm playing, it was a crowdfunded campaign. It made millions and they sold millions off of it, but it came up with a product. The problem is you end up with other crowdfunding products that don't even come close to meeting any kind of standard that they want or have. So anyways, that is our content on Chibi Reviews. So next, I saw this today. It's a couple days old, 4 days old. One of the apparent avengers of the anti woke. I don't know what we even call that anymore. We're getting so many layers of Inception. This is I saw this and it caught my interest because this is a risky video to make, exposing the grift, context, and Charlie Kirk. So I wanted to grab this one, see what the Birdman has to say. You know, we've watched the Birdman on my channel. There's definitely some of his videos I like. I do agree with EGAD that the Birdman has some problems with hypocrisy in the way he talks and things like that. But he does seem to get good, at least a good solid background. And, you know, I also say one of the biggest problems I have with him is his want to never debate anybody, I guess is what you would say. It just seems like if I already know, if I think my argument is strong, I'm more than willing to go on any channel with anybody and talk about it, right? So let's listen to the Birdman and what he has to say about Charlie Kirk, of all people.
I streamed The Last of Us Part 2, a game I was more or less enjoying up until the ending of the game, where the events kept getting more annoying as they went along, until I reached the climax of the game and, well, this was my reaction.
What? No. No. That's not happening. She just bit your finger.
No. Just take him.
What?
This was Smash's game of the year at one point, by the way.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She's letting her go? That's not the end of the game. That can't be. They're fucking. See what the fuck? Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
That's a waste of my time. That was a waste
of
of my fucking time.
I think it's safe to say that by the end of the game, I was not very happy. This game touches on a fairly salient issue in our society, and that is the cycle of violence. In this game, which is a sequel to a game I absolutely love, the protagonist's adoptive father is killed because of actions he took in the previous game. In that game, the man, Joel, was to take this girl, Ellie, to a group of people who knew about her immunity to a pathogen that has caused a zombie apocalypse, and they would engineer a cure from her biology. The problem was that doing this would kill Ellie, something Joel didn't know.
Take me to her.
You don't have to worry about her anymore. We'll take care.
I
of her.
worry. Just let me see her.
I'm
please.
hoping this gets to the subject because I mean, this obviously is a highly
She's being
I see he's talking about The Last of Us too. Yeah, but I'm wondering what this means, context and Charlie Kirk.
prepped for surgery.
The hell do you mean surgery?
The doctors tell me the cordyceps, the growth inside her, has somehow mutated. It's why she's immune. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine. A vaccine.
But it grows all over the brain.
It does.
Find someone else.
There is no one else.
Listen, you were gonna show me where.
Stop. I get it. But whatever it is you think you're going through right now is nothing to what I have been through. I knew her since she was born. I promised your mother I would look after her.
Then why are you letting this happen?
Because this isn't about me, or even her. There is no
Don't do
other
it.
choice here.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that bullshit.
After spending a significant amount of time with this young girl, Joel grew attached and protective of her, and having lost his own daughter 20 years prior, Joel did what any protective father might do when faced with the death of another daughter. He killed everyone in the building, including the doctor
That's
preparing
right.
to operate on Ellie.
Sweet Jesus.
Doctor?
What are you doing in here? I won't let you take her. This is our future. Think of all the lives we'll save.
Yeah, get that motherfucker. Never actually played this game.
Shut the hell up.
Please? I don't want to die. Oh, God.
I mean, that's cold-blooded. You don't get much more
I
cold-blooded.
got you. I got you. Oh, shit.
This action caused a chain reaction where the daughter of the doctor Joel killed, Abby, sought revenge, and at the beginning of the sequel, Joel met his demise right in front of Ellie.
Oh shit. Where the fuck is Dickhead?
Pin her down!
Get off me!
Get her hand!
Get the fuck off me!
Look, we got her. Okay?
Wait. I thought she killed him. Is that not what happens?
Die!
I was under the impression that she killed him, and that's what everyone was mad about.
Done.
You want what I want, right?
End it. Now.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up. Please stop. Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up. No!
Okay, this intro is
Spit on him.
is going a little long.
Everyone in this room's gotta die. Everyone.
Naturally, Ellie sought to avenge Joel's death, and so goes the cycle of violence. The Last of Us Part 2's answer to this was to have Ellie break that cycle and choose not to kill Abby when she had the opportunity to do so, a decision that turned many of the players sour, myself included. I don't think we were upset with the conclusion by the writers of the game. I think we can all agree that the cycle of violence is very real and that it takes a strong person to truly forgive and break that cycle. Rather, we were upset that the game's conclusion was haphazard and didn't logically follow through to its conclusion.
Yeah, it
The
seems
majority of the
really
game is
shit
spent
put
killing
together.
hordes of people in Ellie's quest for revenge, including a pregnant character, dogs, and Abby's entire friend group. But at the moment where players had spent 20+ hours struggling to get to, the game removes agency from the player and, in our opinion, makes the entire quest pointless.
Needed more big boobo
Choosing
women.
not to kill Abby in that moment was Ellie choosing to forgive
We
Abby for
love
killing Joel, but apparently
Asian
Abby's
woman
friends
with
didn't
big
deserve that
boobs,
same forgiveness
type
from the game's
3.
creators. Oh, and the cycle of violence will very likely continue anyway, given Ellie killed many people on her way to finding Abby, but I guess all of that doesn't count because those people weren't main characters. Anyway, my
True,
point with all
true.
of
The only
this
thing
is
that
that I
matters is main
personally
characters.
agree with stopping the cycle of violence in the vast majority of cases, but I also think that if your commitment to ending violence depends entirely on who the victim is, then you never believed in ending it at all. So let's talk about Charlie Kirk.
What a segue. Needed more big boobo.
3 months ago, I released a video titled Exposing the Grift, Kang Min Lee Got Fired. The overall point of that video was to show how heinous of a person Lee really is and to laugh at his downfall, as he is truly an evil person that deserved to lose his job. It wasn't about differences of opinion here. This guy is actually evil. Out of all the people I've covered in this series,
Whiplash.
and I've covered some truly heinous individuals, Kang-min Lee is easily the biggest scumbag I've talked about. Unlike people like...
I'm excited for it. He does interesting videos. Like I said, he's got his problems. But he does some interesting breakdowns.
The Critical Drinker, Lee doesn't attempt to hide his disdain for other groups of people, as he has openly attacked black people, other Asians,
Lee is fucking
Jewish
insane.
people, gay people, women, Muslims, you name it, this piece of garbage has done it. So I don't have any qualms about laughing at this person's misfortune. However, I do draw the line at wishing him physical harm. That is to say, if he were attacked or worse, I would not celebrate that, as I believe death is too final an event, and being that I'm an atheist, I do not believe in divine punishment. No, I think this person should have to answer to us, mortals, for his actions and be shunned from polite society. This can take many forms, but the best one I can think of is this person should be deplatformed so that his ideas do not spread and cause actual harm to real people. In other words,
this is where I always get with the thing with it. Like, yeah, I get it. I would have to look back through Lee's stuff and see what I think might not be free speech. I always stand free. With me, it's always going to be free speech is the standard for me, not what public platforms, decide is there or not there, right? I see you getting on the finals there. But that'll always be my standard. Like the best way to deal with these kind of groups, I think, is to deal with them head on versus getting them into the shadows. Yeah, it can be a double-edged sword in a lot of one. We love the finals. I almost downloaded it the other day because I'm still a big fan of Arc Raiders, even though I haven't got it on in a while. But it may be on a download for me. We'll see.
Should not be paid to spread hate and bigotry.
Some people actually
deserve it. This brings me to what happened to Charlie Kirk. First of all, fuck Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA.
Fair.
I
know it's nothing like it, Kimoji. I just wanted to see, with the people who are behind it, I wanted to see if it would be an enjoyable version of what it's a arena shooter, isn't it? But I wanted to see if I might enjoy it.
He was a piece of shit.
I think Aristocratic Utensil is the worst person Birdman has covered. Some of the takes he has on Twitter are genuinely evil. It's amazing how comfortable people are with just saying the most evil and heinous shit online.
With terrible views, and he couldn't actually debate worth a damn, which is why he chose soft targets and almost never debated actual intellectuals that talked about those subjects for a living. And that's because the right wing are not concerned with arriving at the truth in debates and are just interested in seeing someone get owned, something Charlie was eager to provide them.
Yeah, and I used to soy clap to this stuff, right? The change my mind things and what's that Jewish guy who is now hated by the right? But yeah, it's Ben Shapiro. Thank you. I need to go to a doctor for my memory. It's when I started to realize, as I started to get, a little bit older, out of my 20s into my 30s, that like they have, like, I remember watching Chowder bring out a booklet of all of his evidence, and I'm like, he's bringing in college kids who aren't preparing for this debate, and then they're not debating real people on it. They're just saying their piece and to these kids that they can get like clips of, right? And there's even been times that I'm pretty sure that they've been owned right there in front of someone who knew what they were talking about. But what they do is they don't show those clips. They only show the ones of them winning, and it goes from there. It's a team shooter with objective-based gameplay depending on the game mode you choose. Okay. Like I said, I'm taking a look at it. We'll see.
This is one of the reasons I can't stand debates in the modern era. His strategy of picking on young people who have not fully developed their opinions on the rather difficult topics he chose to talk about is the tactic of an anti-intellectual and a man afraid of looking like the idiot he actually was. And the moment he ran up against people that knew what they were talking about, this is what would happen to him.
At 8 weeks, we have tails. At 8 weeks, an embryo has tails. Do humans have tails, Charlie?
I'm sorry, what?
Serious question. Do human beings have tails?
I'm not exactly sure the essence of the question.
Do human beings have tails? Do you have a tail?
You know, I have never met anyone with a tail. I'm not exactly sure the...
Exactly. But fetuses have tails. Kind of proves that at that phase...
All right, I'll fight against it. Yeah, this guy, I've seen clips of this guy owning him. I definitely don't believe in the stuff that this guy is talking about. Like, I think he's wrong in a lot of those things. Like, do humans have tails? Well, no, we don't have tails, but we have the... Well, technically we do. We have the remainder of what used to be a tail as we evolved through the world. You know, as we evolved over the millions of years, billions of years, whatever it is. So yes, humans did have a tail at one point, and there's still remnants of that. So the fetus having a tail doesn't mean the fetus is not human. Yeah, I would need more than that specific topic.
They are not a human being. They got tails. Humans don't have tails. We're not dinosaurs. Let me even show you a photo, if I may, okay? Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt?
Yes.
This is a dolphin fetus.
This was fun.
So let me...
Without a doubt, a dolphin fetus is a human being. This is a human fetus. Look how similar they look, but quite different. Dolphin. You just confirmed that a dolphin... In life, do you confuse dolphins for human babies often?
So let me
you
ask
go to
you a
SeaWorld and you're like, someone's got human babies in that aquarium.
And I'm going to say, even with the dolphin thing, it's kind of a gotcha. Yeah, all embryos tend to look fairly similar in mammals, right? I bet you pull out one of a lion, it's not going to look much different than the embryo. There are connections we have in nature, in the world. You can even go in, like, plants or mushrooms are closer to humans than they are to trees. That's the kind of thing we're talking about. So, like, I could talk to this guy, I think, more effectively than obviously Charlie Kirk could. And I know next to nothing. I'm not a fucking debater. You know, this is just shit that I've learned, you know, from biology, you can say, biology training. Like, for my personal opinion, like, I have when it comes to, and we're getting a little political on it here, so get prepared for that. I am very conflicted with this particular subject, with abortion in particular, because there's a lot. It's no one is even talking about the nuances with it. It's either it's not a baby or it is a baby, but the end result is a child. But at the same time, it's still part of the mother. So, is it ethical to allow people to have abortions? But then there are cases where abortions are necessary. It's just too nuanced, and I hate that the way it's talked about. So Charlie Kirk should be able to at least argue points about this when it comes to nature and everything else, because obviously this fetus thing, it's a gotcha. It really doesn't prove anything that a fetus is not a human. That's an opinion.
Aquarium. Get the human babies out of the aquarium.
Well, you labeled it.
You could even say all the DNA is coming from two humans. So all the DNA inside of that fetus as it's growing is very much a human.
As a human fetus.
You can't take that fetus and turn it into, a lion or a tiger or a bear, right? It's a human DNA creating a human body. See how much easier that should be for him to talk about, but he can't?
No, I did not.
Dishonestly.
No, I did not. I didn't label it as anything. Doesn't say human fetus on there.
Let me ask you a question, though. So let's hold up those two pictures again.
Sure.
Is there a moral difference between the dolphin and the baby?
At this stage, no.
No.
You just confirmed that.
Let me ask you, a human and a dolphin, is it okay to kill one and not the other? Is there a difference morally between a human and a dolphin?
I don't like to kill dolphins, but when they're
do you like to kill babies?
No, I don't.
As you can see, Charlie's tactics when losing the debate
his
is a Mott and
arguments
Bailey
are
fallacy.
just as bad. Do you want to kill a baby? It's murder to kill the baby. Well, no, it's not that black and white, right? We're not talking about a situation where every case equals the same thing. It's not murder, but what is it?
And force his opponent to argue about something else entirely, showing his intellectual dishonesty as well as a general lack of intelligence. In actual intellectual circles, Kirk was a joke that none of us took seriously, similar to Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, and Matt Walsh. They were all just right-wing mouthpieces talking shit, and their arguments were easily refuted, which is why they picked on unprepared college kids. But then some lunatic decided to end Charlie's life, and now he's apparently a martyr, with his creepy-ass wife doing tours like we're watching a real-life episode of The Boys. You can't tell me this doesn't look like something Vought prepared. It's uncanny. A couple of days after Kirk's death, I was doing a stream with my best friend, and the question of whether I thought Kirk deserved to die came up, and this is what I said.
Did I think Charlie Kirk deserved to die? I don't think... I mean, I think we all believe that certain people deserve to die. Like, for example, if, Mao, Pol Pot, Hitler, those guys were in front of you and then there's a choice that you can make, you could press a button and they would die. I think we would all press that button. There are certain people that just like, we would agree. So I don't think the blanket statement of nobody deserves to die is accurate. Specifically about Charlie Kirk, I wouldn't have killed him. That's just like, as much hate as he has for black people, I personally wouldn't have killed him. But I'm not gonna be sad that the nigga's dead. Like, not even a tear. Okay, but no, I'm not gonna say that I wanted the nigga to die. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a little too far for me personally. But there are absolutely people that deserve to die in this plane of existence, or have deserved to die. I'm not just gonna say that Charlie Kirk was necessarily one of them. Like, my thing about that is that it just sets like something of a dangerous precedent. Because what if somebody you like gets smoked and then they justify, well, they did it to Charlie, then it becomes a tit for tat situation, and that's good for nobody. But like I said, there are some motherfuckers that do deserve the hammer, the hammer of dawn.
As you can see, despite everything I said about the guy, I am against what happened to Kirk because I don't believe in killing your political opponents and because it begets a cycle of violence. Anyway, Kang Min was fired for doing what he normally does, saying crazy shit on the internet, something we covered in that video. His excuse was that there were people celebrating and mocking Charlie's death, and therefore the things he said about them was justified. I remind you, Lee said that women should lose the right to vote over this. My response in that video was to show that people like Lee are complete hypocrites because they themselves relish in violence and the deaths of those they politically disagree with to score cheap political points all the time. These people, including Lee, make light of George Floyd's death with countless memes, jokes, and social media posts justifying this derision because Floyd was apparently a career.
I mean, this is pretty much the same talk that we've said before with this, right? It was all fun and games when it was Democratic politicians, when it was George Floyd, when it was anyone else that's out there. But the moment that it became one of theirs, I say, right? Or at least something that people tricked them into thinking what was one of theirs. It becomes like, oh, you can't say mean things. Well, you either can or you can't. There's either free speech or there's not. That's just, sorry. Oh, shoot, the Traveler's gonna die. No, the Traveler is dead. No! All right, we're safe scumming that. I didn't realize he was that close to dying. The main guy, my main guy, died. I can't have that. I can't have that.
Criminal, therefore he should have been killed and not afforded due process, and jokes about his murder are okay. But then we arrive at Paul Pelosi, the husband of the Democratic Speaker of the House in 2022, who was attacked by a deranged lunatic who believed in basically everything Kang Min Lee believes, including the lie that George Floyd died of a drug overdose, something the person who performed his autopsy already debunked during the trial.
Well,
what today remains your opinion as to the cause of death for Mr. Floyd?
So my opinion remains unchanged. It's what I put on the death certificate last June. That's cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating law enforcement, subdual restraint, and neck compression. That was my top line then. It would stay my top line now.
And so if we look at the other contributing conditions, those other contributing conditions are not conditions that you consider direct causes. Is that true?
They are not direct causes of Mr. Floyd's death. That's true. They're contributing causes.
So, to that end, I then provided examples of Charlie Kirk's flippant nature towards political violence by showing him talking about that specific event. This clip caused at least 2 YouTubers that I know of to claim that I clipped Charlie Kirk out of context, and here we have arrived at the reason this video is titled this way. What is context? According to Merriam-Webster, context means the parts of a
This is like him going after the definition of grifter. I see what we're doing here.
discourse that surround a word, phrase, or passage that help to explain its meaning. In other words, context is the surrounding information that tells you what something actually means instead of what something sounds like in isolation. This then means that taking something out of context is to do the opposite, or make a situation appear like something it actually isn't. To quote mine, in other words, something flat earthers, religious apologists, and right-wing ideologues are notorious for. Therefore, in order for something to have been taken out of context, restoring that context must fundamentally change the meaning of the original statement.
Yes.
For example, if you watch a video and someone plays someone saying, "This policy will fail," it's clear to the viewer that the speaker is saying a policy is doomed to fail. This implies the speaker doesn't believe in the policy at all and sees no redeeming qualities to that policy. However, if you play the entire clip, the quote then becomes, "This policy will fail if implemented without proper oversight." With this added context, you now can see that the speaker does actually believe the policy can succeed, it just needs the proper oversight. This is what it means for something to be taken out of context. When the proper context is restored.
And here, here's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, like, basically what this comes down to is people use this, you're saying this out of context now, as a defense for whatever thing, but they don't actually show the new context involved. They just say it's out of context and move on. Oh shoot. Those things are, those were, dang, I'm down for that. All right, let's go find someone else to sell these to. I just made a shit ton of money.
Restored, the meaning of the statement changes entirely. In the context of the video I made on Kangmin Lee, the claim was that I took Charlie's quotes out of their context to make it appear as if he was saying something he didn't mean. To that end, my detractors played a longer version of the same clip that I played. Take a listen.
Compared to the depraved gloating over the death of an innocent man.
Strange position to take there, Mr. Lee, when Charlie Kirk himself did exactly what you called these people psychopaths for. I mean, Kirk gleefully asked for a hero to bail out Pelosi's assailant.
If some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like 30 or 40,000 bucks. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions. Politico says top Republicans reject any link between GOP rhetoric and Paul Pelosi assault. Of course you should reject any link. Why is the Republican Party, why is the conservative movement to blame for gay schizophrenic nudists that are hemp jewelry makers breaking into somebody's home, or maybe not breaking into somebody's home? Why are we to blame for that exactly? And why is he still in jail? Why is he not?
What's so funny about hearing clips like these is it was the complete opposite. It was like the Democrats are to blame. They all want you dead. They hate you and they're going to do this again.
Been bailed out. By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like 30 or 40,000 bucks. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions. I wonder what his bail is. They're going after him with attempted murder, political assassination, all this sort of stuff. I'm not qualifying it. I think it's awful. It's not right. But why is it that in Chicago, you're able to commit murder and be out the next day? Why is it that you're able to trespass, second-degree murder, arson, threat of public official, cashless bail? This happens all over San Francisco. But if you go after the Pelosi's, oh, you're let out immediately. Got it. And I want to reiterate, for all the degenerates that are watching that cover our story, we do not endorse political violence. We're a movement of peace and of love and of truth. And we hope Paul Pelosi recovers.
Disregarding, for the moment, the false claims of Kirk's movement being one of peace, love, and truth, all this clip did was show a longer clip of him doing exactly what I said he did, which was gleefully ask for a hero to bail out Pelosi's assailant, which he said and then doubled down on in the longer clip. He literally tweeted this days before the clip we're talking about. You might ask, well, isn't the reason he's asking for Pelosi's attacker to be bailed out sarcastic because other criminals have been released on bail? To which I would respond,
Hello? Hello? Anybody home?
welcome to the reason I put this clip in the video. Prior to this part of my video, I'd been making the point that these people are hypocrites and that they use political violence to score cheap political points. I never said they advocated for political violence, which the dipshit that made this video is suggesting, only that when it happens, these people make light of those situations, especially if they can score cheap political dunks. This is what Kang-min Lee was crying about and got fired for, that people were making light of someone that was murdered, very likely due to political reasons. I went on to provide another example where Kirk states blatantly that he was okay with gun deaths if it meant keeping the Second Amendment. This quote not only supports the point I'm trying to make, which was, again, that these people will make light of political violence if it's their side benefiting, but it also directly contradicts Kirk's claim of not advocating for political violence. First of all, Kirk absolutely supported political violence, which means what he said in that clip was not the truth. Political violence, as defined in a 2013 paper by Dr. Cindy Souza of the University of Washington and citing the World Health Organization, is the deliberate use of power and force to achieve political goals. This includes, but is not limited to, shootings, aerial bombardments, detentions, arrests, and torture and deprivation. War is political violence. Police brutality is political violence. Intimidation by the government is political violence. Charlie saying he's against political violence when he has advocated for a lot of those things I just named means he either didn't know what political violence actually meant or he was just lying. In other words, he was either stupid or a grifter. Here are a few of Charlie's tweets showing conclusively that he advocated for political violence. Days before his death, he tweeted that he liked the Secretary of Defense being named the Secretary of War. As we've already established,
that's pretty damning. I mean, it's contradiction after contradiction, and the whole idea of context is it's just a shield now, because you can say that and even post a video of the whole clip and no one will, bat an eye. They'll be like, oh, see, it was out of context. No one reads and no one watches to find out more evidence. None of that stuff.
War is political violence. Also, days before his death, Charlie cheered on and supported waging war against and blowing up alleged narco-terrorists. To date, there is no publicly available, independently verified evidence that the people the United States government bombed were actually narco-terrorists, and Charlie died before we could verify the Trump administration's claim. As we've already established, aerial bombardments is political violence. Charlie spread misinformation about George Floyd's death, saying that he overdosed when he was actually murdered, according to the coroner who performed Floyd's autopsy. Kirk also stated that systemic racially biased police brutality is a lie not rooted in data, except we literally have studies on this very topic, and they conclusively show that there is systemic racially biased police brutality occurring in the United States. This is Kirk excusing police brutality and the very obvious form of police brutality George Floyd faced, and as we've already established, police brutality is political violence. Strangely, when those on his political side apparently experience police brutality, Kirk had an interesting position on that. And by interesting position, I mean he lied, because this didn't actually happen, as only one woman was injured and literally 0 people were trampled by a horse, let alone rendered unconscious. Here is Charlie seriously suggesting we should have public executions.
Yeah, that's how you should. By the way, this is my other problem with death penalty. It takes too long, too many appeals.
Expensive.
It should be public. It should be quick. It should be televised.
What we should be doing, and I agree. It should be public
and
televised.
Public square. By the way, you could fund the government
to watch it.
You could have brought to you by Coca-Cola, And no, I'm not kidding. By the way, I would totally tune in to see some pedo get their head chopped off.
Corporate America. Coca-Cola sponsors the death of people. That's something.
Convicted by a jury
By the
of
way,
peers.
that's gonna get
No,
called
I'm talking about a
I am for the death penalty, by the way.
real thing. I'm not talking
All
about
execution.
if
I would
all of a
say-
sudden you look at some of these savages, like in Indiana, there was this guy that went in and killed a pregnant woman and her 3 kids.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to watch that execution. That'll make my day better. I want to see him on a public block and get him be publicly executed. And I think that would be justice. At what age should you start to see public executions?
16.
I think you could do it earlier. I think you maybe at age 12,
Whenever-
like 6th grade or so.
Jesus Christ.
I want you to imagine every day, all of a sudden they said, and today, remember that awful
Dystopian,
5,
yeah, real
the guy that
dystopian
went and shot up
stuff.
a school? Because, left hates school shooters, and so do we. But they focus on the gun. I think they're evil. So, you take one of these school shooters, and they say, today we're going to publicly execute this person. And they read off
Super Bowl.
No, yeah, the shooters at the Super Bowl thing, and you read off what they did.
parade,
and
not
you don't celebrate it. You just say, look, this is what they did, and if you do this, this will be your fate. Ready, set, go. Boom. End of life.
Okay.
And say,
if that was the case, the current death penalty would prevent crazy people from murdering people, but that's not how it works. That's not like these kids that are shooting up schools are incredibly disturbed people. You want to fix school shooting, in my opinion? You want to stop that? It's neither of those arguments, whether it's the gun or the other one. You fix mental health. You actually put money into mental health and see if we can at least solve some of that problem.
here's a question for anyone that might be,
God, I hate people.
Not persuaded. Would crime go up or down?
It would go way down.
Done. So that why is this even a question?
It would.
As we've already established.
Hey, we made a law that said don't kill people. For some reason, people are still killing people.
Intimidation tactics by the government, which is the purpose of public executions, is political violence. So you see, Charlie was all about that political violence life, and the unfortunate irony is that he was also a victim of political violence. And this is why I started this video by talking about The Last of Us. The lesson of The Last of Us Part 2 was never simply violence bad. The lesson was supposed to be about how cycles of violence form, how they're justified, and who gets excused along the way. And the reason so many people rejected that ending wasn't because they opposed forgiveness. It's because the game asked for forgiveness selectively after demanding the audience participate in brutality for 20+ hours and then pretending only the final act mattered. That same selective logic is exactly what we see with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk spent his career trivializing political violence when it benefited him, excusing it when it aligned with his ideology, and cheering it on when it was aimed at the right people. Then, when political violence finally touched him, the rules suddenly changed. Now we're told to stop, to reflect, to be civil, to break the cycle. But cycles of violence don't break through martyrdom. They break when people are honest about what they support, consistent about what they condemn, and accountable for the ideas they put into the world. Ellie didn't break the cycle because the player said so, and Charlie Kirk didn't oppose political violence just because he claimed to. Context matters. And if we're serious about stopping the cycle of violence, like actually serious, then we don't do it by lying about the past and sanitizing the dead. We do it by judging ideas by the harm they cause and exposing the grift.
Okay. I mean, all in all, not a bad video. I mean, I get what he's saying. He's not wrong on that idea. It's context is pretty much useless now because nobody actually understands. You just show a longer clip and people seal clap. And yeah, you don't stop the violence. You don't. It's this thing where boom, there you have those. Get rid of that stuff. Like you're not gonna fix. We're not gonna fix the problem until we actually start talking. That's just how it goes. But no one's willing to talk anymore. The right has proven that they don't want to talk anymore. The left started that whole idea of, well, no, not started. It's been around for a while. You know, the left did it at one point where you can't say anything bad because or you don't talk to these people. They're the enemy. They're racist. They're homophobes. They're whatever you want to call them. And now here we are with the right doing the exact same thing. So, yep. All in all, I think it's a good video. What do we have left? It's 11. It's 11. I shouldn't have said the, let's pull this up here for a second. Pull this up here. We'll pull something out of the barrel. The video on Black Souls, I think we might do Wednesday. I got to get with Nasmer and Simon so that we can talk about evil characters in gaming. I think that would be fun. Let's see what we can come up with. No, I didn't want to go here. Dum. I didn't want to go here. Why am I showing? Boom. I always have a list. While we are here and I'm getting this ready, if you haven't liked the stream, please like the stream for me. It helps me out greatly as I go into this new year. Surprised I even got 100 subs. We're on the road to 500 though. 200 is my next goal. So if you really like the stream and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and all that fun jazz. Because we watch all sorts of videos here, whether it's drama videos, whether it's videos on we might be able to do this one actually. Might be able to do this one. I'll change the thing. Drama videos on the anti-wokers, videos like the ones you just saw. If you have a video idea and you want me to look at it, reach out to me on Discord or X or any of the other channels that are out there, or you can head into the Discord and drop it in Feed the Pig.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to do a little bit of drama. I was thinking about putting this on, but I think it's better that we do this one. We'll do Black Souls Wednesday, like I said. That's about an hour and a half video, so you're probably looking at like most of the stream for it. So we will change this to, here, I'll do this. Copy, paste, and then Deorio hit piece. Yeah, Deorio is terrible. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Any of y'all who don't know who Nicholas Deorio is, he is a commentary channel from back in the day. He worked with, or he collabed with guys like Augie RFC. They had a little little podcast that, or well, people would go on Augie RFC's channel. They would do drama and things like that. If you know Twitter versus, then you know Bo Blacks. He was part of their group. Well, I watched him for quite a while after his comeback from Mama Max, and he's just kind of fallen because he goes just straight for like the Ethan Hassan iDubbbz back and forth drama, and it looks like someone Junk Drawer Gaming, small channel, 244 subs. How much is Denim's paying you? Made a hit piece on him, or made a video on him. So I want to see what he says, how much weight it is. This could be completely that this guy's an absolute retard and we're going to mock him the whole time. Or maybe it shows us something interesting with, with Deorio's stream and how he's fallen. So let's pull up. Boop.
Throughout 2025, I've seen commentary streamer and video essayist Nicholas Deorio transition his content and behavior into something totally unrecognizable from how it was in years past. I've seen the quality of his content and analysis sharply decline as he shies away from acknowledging any criticism that is levied against him. In this video, I want to break down some of the ways that Nicholas has abandoned his long-standing principles and show how he is both willing to lie for his own personal benefit and allow his friends to lie with little to no pushback.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting video. Like, the hypocrisies of H3H3.
My most prominent criticisms of Nick come from his awful coverage of Ethan Klein. Nick is in a complete 180 on his opinion of the Kleins. He went from someone who would proudly call Ela Klein horseface to someone who makes pathetic, groveling sympathy posts for a plight.
Now, I'll say the way I thought about this when it was first starting to come out is Ethan had become a little based on that. It seemed like he was kind of going back to, not completely, you know, back to the way he was, but like moving back in a direction away from the really overly progressive stuff. But then it turned into these lawsuits and all of the things that are going on, and he's just as pathetic as, you know, we all thought he was.
As an Israeli living in the United States.
The first wave of like commentary channels that started to hate us, they like to make a joke that I look like a horse.
Joe Rogan should give Gila back her meds. So you tweet this, right? And somehow you trended over what now? What was the story you trended over on the H3 Reddit?
Moses was being accused of sexual assault.
Come on, their thread was shitting on Nick for making fun of somebody's looks, and here they are shitting on somebody's looks.
And
I
the
know
best
he
part
tries
is I
to
don't
play it
even
off,
need
but
plastic
trust me.
surgery to fix mine.
Yeah.
I just need like a diet and exercise. You need a fucking... They need to call a surgeon to fix that shit.
Oh, Nick, nah, dude.
Starts tweeting a picture of a horse, and
Yeah.
Ethan adds his own context, which is driving him
That is
crazy.
funny.
And it's funny because it's like a 10,000 IQ play. Hilo goes, well, why can't he just call me a horse? The reason he can't call you a horse is because you're fucking.
The joke doesn't
dumbass will
work.
Probably flag the tweet. No, because you'll probably flag the tweet. I don't think using your fucking platform to attempt to deplatform someone is fair to me, and I'm an asshole. So if I want to tweet a fucking horse emoji, you can hate me for it. You can think
I
it's an
don't
asshole
hate you
move.
for it. That's cool.
No,
That's
but
fine.
I brand myself as an asshole. I don't come on this internet to be liked by people.
Participate in some really nasty stuff like calling Ela horseface and stuff.
I did do that.
That being said, water under the bridge. But I'm just saying there was a reason.
Yeah, but he thought that I wouldn't forgive him or anything, but I actually watch your content pretty regularly now.
I specifically, I remember, I'm like, why? I don't think any of these. I don't think like Gila Klein. I don't think Ethan. I don't think anyone's gonna forgive me for any of those comments or anything like that.
I think I really.
And then she was watching the stream.
I like Deorio. I gotta say, I gotta admit it. I'm a Deorio fan.
So I had tweeted support for Gila Klein is pivotal right now. Look at the quote tweets. All I did was tweet out like support for Gila Klein, which I think is totally fine. I think you're a complete fucking loser if you have a problem with this tweet.
I got my wiggler around the
Goy
same
slop
time from the same
commentary
person.
YouTubers are a waste of oxygen. Fat retard crying about the ugliest bitch getting harassed. You know the world has to get nuked because fat retard commentary YouTubers think they deserve to live. Support for the horse-faced Nazi settler is pivotal right now. IDF sympathize. There's not like a single positive comment right now. I'm a Zionist now. Support Eva Braun. She's Hitler's wife. Okay, that's a good one. I'd fuck her, but that's as far as my support goes. You don't have to like her, but we should never support a Jew. Fuck off, evil genocidal freak. All you do is feel anti-Semitism. Jew, no thanks, bro. Mumbly, unrepentant terrorist. I made a voodoo doll of Gila. I'm giving it hugs and kisses to show my support. No, she's a Jew. Hope she dies a horrible death. You mean the Raider of Ramallah, which was a...
So, I think this is already not a good start for this guy, because... Yeah, he's clearly, you know, making fun of her and mocking her and doing horse jokes and things like that. I don't think you should go in and soy like he's doing right now, but he's not showing people that are just mocking and making fun of her. These are people who are, you know, just being incredibly cruel. You can do that. I've said no problem with that. Like I said, it's a little soy to get on and cry about it, but I don't know if this is the straight hypocrisy that he's thinking it is.
I mean, this is just like, we need the people to deal with her. Only N-words and F-slurs care about this. Yeah, I don't know.
Nick was one of Ethan Klein's biggest critics back in 2020. He put out a multi-part video series strongly criticizing Ethan for his unhinged behavior. But now, Nick will stop at nothing to defend Ethan, and we all have to pretend that Ethan has changed in some tremendous way. This leads me to question if 2025 Ethan is really that different from 2020 Ethan. Let's look at some of the main criticisms that Nick used against Ethan in his 2020 video series. Nick criticized Ethan heavily for using Etika's death as a way to attack Keemstar in 2020.
Why does this dude's legacy need to be subjected to this? Why does this dude's tragic suicide need to be weaponized and debated on a year later in YouTube Drama Exposed video? This just feels like a cop-out because he's gone. He's unable to speak for himself. Etika is unable to interject and let people know what he was feeling or pick a side. It's an allegation that H3H3 felt comfortable to walk right up to the door with because Etika's not here to tell him that's not true, and nobody knows exactly what was going through Etika's mind.
To this day, Ethan still regularly engages in this behavior. Back in June, Michaela Rains, the founder of the Save a Fox Wildlife Initiative, took her own life due to a combination of mental health issues and criticism that she received both online and in real life regarding the way she ran her animal sanctuary.
I looked at this thing right here, and it was massively overplayed about the harassment. So already too soy on this. Like, it was a small, tiny Reddit. No one was coming after her for harassment. They weren't like calling her ugly or anything like that I remember, or making fun of her looks or doing anything like that. There was a lot of criticism about the way she ran her sanctuary and the health of the animals in that sanctuary. Like, she was already massively disturbed, had multiple attempts. Not that, you know, that's like a way to take criticism away from this Discord, but this Discord was not doing what everyone wrote about on it. The Discord was so fucking tame.
Sanctuary. Most of the online harassment she received was from Kiwi Farms, Tumblr, and a very inactive Snark subreddit, which only had 19 posts in total at the time of her death. Ethan Klein very quickly decided to make this woman's suicide about himself, claiming that her Snark subreddit was the deciding factor in her death and comparing it to his own Snark subreddit, claiming that their end goal is to get him to kill himself. In reality, Michaela's death had very little, if anything, to do with her tiny Snark subreddit, and likely had much more to do with the harassment and criticism that she received from other sanctuaries in real life, in combination with her mental health struggles. This didn't stop Ethan from turning the spotlight on himself in an effort to remove criticism of himself from the internet. It would seem like Deorio doesn't personally agree with the assessment that Michaela's Snark subreddit was the reason she killed herself.
So yeah, a girl, Save a Fox, killed herself from on a Snark sub. It is crazy, and yet
I completely disagree with this.
Reddit does nothing, and there is no account.
But despite boldly disagreeing with Ethan on this over 6 months later, Nick still has never addressed Ethan weaponizing this woman's death to bolster his campaign to remove his detractor base from the internet. Ethan Klein even made Charlie Kirk's death about himself. Within hours of Kirk's shooting, Ethan was posting Instagram stories blaming websites like Twitch for the shooting and saying that he feels unsafe due to Mike from PA of all people. Ethan will dig up any corpse that he can and make anyone's death about himself to get the upper hand over his enemies. In 2020, Deorio was so critical of this behavior that he included a full Etika tribute in his video, but now he won't even address Ethan's participation in this same behavior. Nick also heavily and rightfully criticized Ethan for starting a trend of going after an enemy's sponsors online. In 2020, Ethan went after Keemstar's G Fuel sponsorship and ended up getting him dropped from the company. In retaliation, Ethan claimed to have lost about 80% of his podcast sponsors. Nick said that he didn't support the sponsor war but felt no sympathy for Ethan starting it.
He's apparently lost 80% of his own sponsors for the H3 podcast. Now, to be clear, nobody is sure if this is partially due to COVID or 100% in relation to his attacks on channel sponsors in May, but regardless, it's a clear case of karma rearing its head. I'm not one to celebrate money being pulled out of a creator's pockets, but I also don't really have sympathy or empathy for those who have made the statements Ethan has made and continues to make.
Ethan still engages in this behavior, except today he goes after Twitch's sponsors directly.
So anyway, shout out to Capcom, Chevron, and Samsung, who are proudly displayed on the backdrop of this panel, in which Arab to Israeli hummus brand, I perceive as Zionist or Jew basically, Arab to Jew tier list.
I remember this.
Being enjoyed here in front of Chevron, Capcom, and Samsung, proudly sponsored in collaboration with Twitch. Fucking awesome.
I would argue that this is much worse because targeting these website-wide sponsors could impact many more innocent creators who just so happen to use the website and have nothing to do with the perceived anti-Semitism that Ethan is seeing. Now, you would assume that Nicholas, who previously was so principally opposed to Ethan starting a sponsor war against Keem, would be pretty appalled by this. Well, in reality, he said that Ethan's actions were probably wrong, but ultimately excused them because of the Arab to Jew tier list.
I'm sorry, dude. You can get mad at Dan, you can get mad at Ethan, and most of it's justified, I guess, about going after sponsors, but don't forget that Twitch had an Arab to Jew tier list. I'm sorry, but
Holy shit. Yeah, this is absolutely hypocritical. Things that he would have, you know, things that he has criticized. Oh, goodness. Ethan for in the past. Isn't that where they call Ethan a Zionist in their tier list? Yeah, they call him a Zionist. And they call him a Zionist. They call him, you know, it was Denims who specifically said Zionist, which was kind of like saying the quiet part out loud. But oh god, they're all coming. Let's go back up. So yeah, but it's like it's the thing where like I say, hey, you don't go after sponsors, don't go after, you know, the platform, anything like that. Ethan's doing the same things he's done from back then today, but now it's okay because why? Because it makes Deorio's wallet bigger. Like why is it okay now when it wasn't before? Yeah, he's shown a couple of hypocrisies right now.
There's never been anything like this. This isn't comparable to PewDiePie on YouTube. Twitch let them host an Arab to Jew tier list in front of 5 fucking sponsors on the wall at their own convention, and then had to get bullied by social media into fucking enforcing their own fucking terms of service.
He provided no commentary about the potential.
So yeah, I agree with him on that. Twitch absolutely wasn't following their terms of service, but that by no means means that you should go after sponsors for it, especially if your whole thing has been, you know, your thing saying about it is like, hey, going after sponsors is wrong.
Potential blowback that starting an adpocalypse level sponsor war against Twitch could cause for innocent creators, and actually quickly segued into a segment about Mia Khalifa.
Chevron, Capcom, and Samsung. Do you know that there is an Arab to Jew tier list happening in front?
It is. It literally is an Arab to Jew fucking tier list.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, could you imagine? It's like,
if I wasn't already tired of like the Ethan fucking bullshit, this just kind of like solidifies that Deorio is a fucking turd now.
R to honky tier list. Dude, I need to see this. This needs to be a real thing.
I watched this clip and I'm like, what the fuck am I actually watching? This is mad. I need to say something.
True. This is legitimately a totally reasonable reaction to the shit you're seeing. People are saying this is Ethan's crash out.
It's a reasonable
Have you
reaction.
read any of the Reddit posts?
It's a reasonable reaction now to go after sponsors because it's a big company. That could be a possibility, you could say. That's one thing that people would say about, you know, this kind of what Ethan's doing, but it's still affecting a whole bunch of other people because you're mad that you were on a tier list, right? It's an unhinged tier list. It definitely went against their terms of service. Was that a prince? No, that's just a, but it's still just a tier list, nothing more, right?
Or seen any of the tweets from this community. If you're insulated in like my sector or you're looking at any of his stuff, go to the Hassan Piker subreddit and just do a scroll. Even today, you're not too late. You'll see a bunch of people acting like this is their literal personal 9/11.
Jesus.
So they are very in touch with the Jewish identity. So we're gonna have to ask them.
Wait, what?
God,
what is Bunty King?
No way.
Who is Bunty King?
No fucking way, dude. Holy shit, chat. Pull this up for a second. We'll get there. We'll get to that. I gotta pull up Mia Khalifa, all right? Speaking of professional tits on a screen,
pull up fucking Mia Khalifa right now, Mrs. PTSD from porn.
This is one instance of a trend where Nick refuses to engage with criticism that he knows he cannot defend. He even admits that Ethan is mostly wrong in his call out of sponsors, but still searches for a way to downplay any potential criticisms due to the perceived anti-Semitism from Twitch. A big point of contention in Nick's second 2020 video on Ethan was that Ethan platformed and legitimized the creator Britbong Returns. Britbong was a serial deplatformer, doxer, swatter, and someone who would routinely fill Discord servers and DMs with illegal material. Now, while I do believe that Britbong Returns is a much more detestable online figure for doing things like spamming Aiden Underground and Augie RFC's DMs with illegal material, a comparison can be made in the sense that Ethan still works with unhinged degenerates like Dan Saltman. Dan Saltman is a doxer, liar, and deplatformer who will stop at nothing to get Hassan deplatformed from Twitch and Dan Clancy fired as their CEO. He's doxed Hassan's moderators.
There's one of Hassan's moderators, the guy named Comrade Lamb, and he's been on his account calling me a pedophile. And I did a subpoena and got his information, his full information. I'm gonna, it was quick, surprisingly.
Wait, really? You can just do that?
Yep.
Stop! No.
That's lit.
No,
What?
you don't do that shit on my stream.
Gone after Twitch's sponsors to try to start his own ad pop.
That's what you should do. I was kind of getting a little bit on edge there that it's on J-Stock's stream, and he hasn't said anything yet, but he came out. That's what Deorio should be doing in this case. But obviously, Deorio doesn't give a shit because he's back in the graces of a larger YouTuber, and I mean his content his views and his subs have skyrocketed.
Apocalypse, and gone as far as to contact the mainstream media and politicians in his crusade. Ethan proudly displays a Redacted.dev sponsorship, which is Dan's company, on all of his live streams, and is in constant communication with Dan behind the scenes. Ethan doesn't just platform these degenerates, he now takes sponsorship money and endorses these people. Again, I'm not saying that Dan is as bad as Britbong, but any person who is principally opposed to Ethan legitimizing Britbong should also be opposed to collaborating with Dan, but Deorio couldn't care less and has even platformed Dan himself at times. Nick, instead of condemning Ethan for working with Dan, will routinely use him as a scapegoat to write off many of Ethan Klein's criticisms. If Ethan says anything that is blatantly false or accuses Hassan of something out of context, it's always Dan's fault for feeding him misinformation. Ethan can never just be wrong or malicious in his framing of his enemies. There's also the elephant in the room of Ethan Klein's malicious lawsuits. It's no secret that I am principally opposed to these lawsuits, and I find it ridiculous that any so-called commentator would think of supporting them. These lawsuits are built upon a lie that Ethan...
I will say too, I'm not a fan of the lawsuits. Like, I get it. It's so easy to hate Denims and Frogan and all that other shit. But the lawsuits he's going after are the very thing that he fought against in his major lawsuit, right? So now it's not okay because they talk about him. And there are some cases where they've probably broken copyright. Frogan definitely. And or not copyright, it's it's copyright, isn't it? But my problem with the lawsuit is that there's already a method on Twitch, on YouTube, on anywhere. You can copyright strike stuff on Discord. So there's already a method to take care of this, but because they're his enemies, he's maliciously going into a lawsuit with them, right? If it was anybody else, they would be, calling him out for this. And I think there are a lot of people calling him out for this. But he's just being malicious. I'm a big YouTuber with a lot of money. I can hammer down on you legally. So I'm going to hammer down on you legally instead of using the processes that already exist.
Needs to defend his copyright and are being used as a political weapon to silence Ethan's critics. And in the case of the H3 Snark moderators, these lawsuits are being used as an attempt to dox their private identities in an attempt to scare away future criticism.
Hold on. All right. I don't know why that even did that.
Ethan has expressly stated that he wants to reveal the identities of the Snark moderators to their families, schools, and jobs, essentially doxing them and participating in life ruination. His orbiters will use the skulls and CPS call as a way to deflect away from this unhinged behavior, as if it is some sort of get-out-of-jail-free card that allows Ethan to do literally whatever he wants forever. Ethan has even outright lied in his legal filings, incorrectly claiming that one of the Snark users was a mod that was collaborating with Denims to steal his copyright. In reality, this was just a regular subreddit user who sent Denims a DM expressing that she should stream a reaction to the content nuke to avoid giving Ethan views. She never even responded to this message. Literally anyone can message Denims on Twitter, Instagram, her Twitch chat.
Denims was the one that I wasn't quite as sure about, because it was like never directly said, and if it's true that it was a reading out of commenters, then it weakens the lawsuit even more.
Yes, if you really want to spend $20, you can message her on OnlyFans or Fansly. There's no guarantee that she will respond to any of these messages, but anyone can try to get in contact with her. Again, this is an instance of Nicholas blatantly downplaying and not engaging with criticism against Ethan Klein. He claimed that he would look into this if it was a lie, but then never ended up following up.
I think it's the Dan Saltman tweet is the important one. I don't know if this is actually a moderator. It seems like preliminary reporting is, yeah, this is an H3 Snark moderator. I don't know who this Dardis guy is, and I don't know how they got that information.
I just saw Keffel's tweet.
What would it matter if it was a moderator, if it wasn't her that said it?
On Nicholas Deorio.
Keffel's appreciated the shout out.
Does anyone know the lore behind this person? I feel like if this is real, like, not that, like, if it's real, because it's from the lawsuit. If this is actually a moderator, and that's actually the Discord tied to the moderator, this is really bad for them. This would be really bad for them. This is like either absolutely nothing or a complete and total nuke. If that's a Reddit moderator, if that's a Snark moderator, this is absolutely fucking.
This is what I hate about like people wanting to talk about legal stuff. Like, I've done it, obviously, and I've given my opinions. We've looked up definitions and things like that. But like, what about this makes it a nuke if it's the moderator? It's still not Denims that said it, right? It's a person who works on her Twitch stream. So he's not even looking at it objectively. He's just trying to get another dig into Denims, which is a person he hates, which she's hateable. She's really easy to hate. But this isn't it. This is just more hypocrisy on his side.
Worst case scenario for Denims and them, probably.
Deorio just sounds like a cocksucker at this point.
Like, that is actually fucking crazy. They're completely deluded in their little bubble. I've heard privately from people, and I'm not going to name any names, they're skeptical about this, so I'm proceeding with caution. But I mean, that would be fucking crazy if it turns out to be fully accurate.
These lawsuits were never really about copyright. Even Nicholas has openly admitted this on Discord. Nick has outright stated that it would be delusional to think that these lawsuits are exclusively about protecting copyright. But he still has no problem supporting Ethan's blatant lies that he is simply trying to save the YouTube space from content thief reactors that all just so happen to provide harsh criticism of his political takes on the Israel and Palestine situation. Nick has perfectly fallen in line with Ethan's attempt to brand his detractor base as some kind of unique evil, when they are pretty standard A-logs that you can find in any large online community. Seriously, has the treatment that Ethan receives any worse than other lolcows like Wings of Redemption, Boogie, Ethan Ralph, or Christian? Ethan himself will even use subreddits like Trisha Paytas Snark, and Nick basically runs a Snark community against people like iDubbbz and Boblex. In reality, if Ethan would just disengage and stop fighting with his detractor base, so many of his problems would go away. Ethan is a nearly 40...
Hey, we just talked about another guy like that, right? Right? Just not constantly going at it.
Year-old multimillionaire who routinely throws himself into the line of fire by giving his takes on Israel. I don't feel any sympathy for a middle-aged man constantly putting himself and his family in this position simply due to...
Let's watch the middle age there, bud.
The fact that he's incapable of disengaging. Here's Deorio describing this exact sentiment about Tipster.
Are these types the ones that are that don't belong online, chat? The tipsters, the Jalens, the flamencos, the people who have the lolcow gene, the people who constantly dive directly into the spotlight and just get farmed for weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, you could give these people advice. You could give Jalen some advice. You could give Flamenco a fireside chat. You could tell Tipster, just let it go. But they're never going to. Okay? They can't help them. You can't help them because they're grown fucking children. But for people like Tipster and Flamenco, who are already in their 30s, approaching their 40s, at some point you just start not feeling bad anymore.
If he had any consistency, he would feel the same way about Ethan, that he has the lolcow gene and is old enough to know better than to keep poking the bear. But with Ethan, we have to keep playing defense because of a CPS call that happened a year ago. A call that never would have happened if Ethan had not revealed very personal information about his children's health online. No self-described commentary creator should be supportive in any way of Ethan.
I mean, I absolutely think the call was malicious and not about people being scared about Ethan's children, right? It was clearly something to cause alarm to them or do something to scare them, or some justice that the snarkers felt that they were going to get, right? It's unhinged to think any other way, but it's the thing. It's like that thing that they focus on. We just saw Chibi Reviews sit there and go over all of his drama again, all of his haters and doxers and all that again. And it's the same thing with Ethan. He's going to constantly bring up this CPS call. And now he's really all he's doing is just using his money to go after people he doesn't like. Denims didn't make the CPS call. Frogan didn't make the CPS call. Hassan didn't make the CPS call. There's plenty of things you can criticize these guys about or go after them about their bad takes and stuff that they said, but he's using something that no one has taken credit for to go after people he doesn't like.
Ethan's blatant attacks on free speech. Ethan fans and orbiters like Nick claim that he is only going after people who were malicious in their attempt to infringe on his copyright. That falls flat when he's previously described XQC as someone who deliberately steals content with his lazy reactions.
Take it back.
No, you still are a content thief, in my opinion.
Take it back.
No, why would I take it back?
Because if you're gonna reel it back and say,
I just said that wasn't a good analytical point. I still think you're a content thief.
This would imply that XQC is also malicious, and since he essentially freebooted Ethan's entire video, wouldn't that qualify him for a lawsuit as well? It's so obvious that Ethan is just weaponizing the legal system to force apologetic statements out of his online enemies. These lawsuits are fundamentally built on lies, both regarding the legal reasons for filing and the stated purpose behind targeting individual creators. Ethan already settled with Caseytron and made her give some strange ISIS beheading style apology that he lied about and said was genuine. I also think he's quite likely to win against Frogan, as she also did a poor job reacting to his content nuke. Denim's reaction, on the other hand, shows both the hypocrisy of Nick and the lies that he's willing to tell on Ethan's behalf. Denim's provided a substantially better reaction than both Caseytron and Frogan. She even had a longer reaction to the content nuke than Nicholas Deorio himself.
I don't know if you could ever say that Denims gave a substantially better. Like she does a lot of sitting in front of it and saying things that really don't make any sense. But yeah, she was clearly not doing what the others did, and I think she has the strongest case to win.
More than doubled the runtime of the video with her reaction and provided commentary throughout. This is the same standard that was used to defend Chud Logic against Dark Viper AU when he filed a copyright strike for Chud's reaction to his video. The community concluded argued that since Chud more than doubled the runtime of the original video with critical commentary, his video was not a market replacement and was fair use. When Denims clears these same markers, the goalpost shifts and a new standard is created that all of her commentary must be perfectly factual and relevant to the content that she's reacting to. Nick says that her reaction was irrelevant and filled with non-related commentary and moments of reminiscing about past dramas.
That means I added 120% of the runtime in commentary, on average pausing every 30 seconds to add 36 seconds of commentary. Now, I'm not fact-checking this. I'm going to assume that she's telling the truth here.
I'm not fact-checking this. Really, Deorio? Really?
Video. I remember watching her video on my stream. You can actually watch my reaction to Denims because I did react to her viewing of it. And it was literally just like, she'll go on a random tangent about something that has nothing to do with the video, or she'll hear Ethan say a sentence and then go on like, remember this one time kind of things. So despite that she's saying that, I don't think that she added 130 minutes of actual content to it as much as she might have paused and talked to chat or thanked somebody for something.
This is hilarious if you've ever watched
but couldn't that absolutely be transformative for the for the stream? Yeah, you're not necessarily like if that's the only thing you're doing is just talking about random things while this plays in the background. Yeah, I could see that. But how much of that content is her talking about the actual video and how much of it is her just doing random things. Every YouTuber does that. Like, we've gone off on tangents about things here, haven't we, chat? That's just part of doing a stream, especially if you like got ADHD. So I don't understand why it's not okay. Ooh, specialist. Problem is it doesn't cover any of the stomach. Fuck it, we'll go with it. Oh, I can't afford that. Oh man. Okay. I can afford that though. Boom. There we go. There we go. So see, just went off on a little tangent while I'm doing some armor. Does that mean this video is not transformative?
Deorio reaction, as his streams are full of irrelevant cutaways to MCU references and memories of past dramas. I found several instances of this when looking for clips for this video.
What's the deal? That sounds like some shit in Family Guy. Peter Griffin's like, yeah, with Pearl Harbor. That's why I come out here and I fight the way that I do every single time. Lois Griffin, it seems like you've been winning a lot tonight. What is your driving factor? Oh, Peter already told you the story about Pearl Harbor, right? Okay, well, I guess for me...
I think the ego is kind of crazy.
Do you remember when you'd be like, oh, what are they talking about here? And then EDP would be like, Chris Tyson's looking at Lolicon. We need a better brand of influencers. And it's like, dude, you're a pedophile. What are you talking about? Why are you calling out Chris Tyson for Lolicon? And now here, Ms. Kiff is talking about why the Stream Awards failed.
Meaning what I have. Like, I don't care to grow too much.
You know what's crazy? His whole life philosophy comes from Tony Stark during Endgame. Keep what we have and get back what we lost. Like, that's literally Bo Black's whole future is designed by Tony Stark in Avengers Endgame. Do you remember when Onision used TurboTax and tried to expose the government for, I guess, auditing him or something because he didn't fill out the forms correctly? And everyone's like, why, dude, he's like a huge YouTuber making millions of dollars and he couldn't hire an account. He was too fucking cheap to hire an accountant and just try to freeball it, dude, on him, on his own shit.
It'd be the same. It's not the same.
This reminds me of like the Family Guy shit where Mr. Pewterschmidt's like, Peter's making me do a Big Bang Theory watch party with all the guys in the office. Now I do them regardless because the show is really funny.
He now claims that he has changed his content, no longer watches full videos on stream, but I hardly see how that would save him if some litigious freak like Ethan or Dark Viper determined that he did a bad reaction to one of their videos. Denim's losing this case could very well provide a legal precedent that could be used against Deorio's style of reaction. That reason alone should deter him from blatantly supporting Ethan's attempts to ruin free speech on the internet. Nicholas has also supported Ethan in the blatant lies that he has perpetrated against Denims. Back in the spring, Ethan used an edited and filtered video of Denim's chat to push the narrative that her entire community and live chat were calling for Ethan to lose his kids and for someone to call CPS on him.
It was apparently
No, I think this is... Love made a good point. You said, is this every comment? I believe this is a live feed of the chat. This isn't edited.
What about the top right?
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing this.
No, it's this, I think when you full screen it... No, this is an edit. It's a cutout of the full chat. It's just enlarged there.
Oh, really?
Over the screen, yeah.
Here are the first and last frames of the video that he played. I searched for the top and the bottom messages in my Chatterino history. The first one is line 14,472.
It's bad when you're getting...
The second...
It's bad because this happened and it was like Denim's absolutely got the win on this one. And it's bad when you're getting beaten by Denims.
Is 15,428. And they're 5 minutes apart. That's 956 messages in 5 minutes. He showed 65 messages, which is less than 7% of the messages from that time period.
Nick nodded his head and pushed this narrative, ultimately placing responsibility on Denims for the CPS call.
A statement about it and said that she does not condone calling CPS.
So we're talking about CPS. One, I don't condone.
Yeah, it doesn't mean she's not partially responsible for this occurring by signal boosting this on a huge fucking platform.
Oh, God.
Platform when you're astroturfed by Hassan Piker, who's using fucking Bad Empanada as an attack dog.
No,
Ethan signal boosted this to his massive audience that's on there. I'm sorry if the guy who it happened to puts it all online, you can talk about it, right? There's cases that I don't think you should. I mean, even then, I talked about on stream. I've talked about on stream, the things that have happened with what Smash JT has done. in signal boosting doxes and things like that. So should you go to the, page where all of it's happening or anything like that, like for doxing stuff? No. Should you not be allowed to say anything because Ethan Klein is mad about it? Like, it can be unhinged and you can still talk about the situation.
I can criticize Denims for not pushing back hard enough on Bad Empanada in this reaction, but ultimately I do not place responsibility for the CPS call on Denims. There's no evidence showing that she herself called CPS, and she multiple times stated that she disavows calling CPS on Ethan. As of December 26, 2025, Nicholas still abides by the principle that you are not responsible for every member of your audience, even if someone does an unhinged action.
I'm sorry, you can't police this. You cannot police an audience. The only time you're responsible for your audience is if you spread misinformation that causes them to go and harass somebody who didn't deserve it. Like, if you spread a false rape allegation of some kind and your audience goes and clowns that person, that is your fault. You have given them bad information. They have gone and acted on that stuff. And now you are responsible. But the expectation that you can prevent crazy people from doing crazy shit that are statistically going to be watching you is absolutely fucking insane. The only solution to that is never criticizing anybody ever again online and living in a padded cell.
So even if the CPS call came from one crazy Denims viewer, she's not ultimately responsible for it. While she didn't have perfect coverage of the Bad Empanada video, that doesn't make it right to lie about her and spread deceptively edited clips to paint her as responsible for the CPS lie. Nick refused to properly engage with this criticism on multiple occasions, originally stating on Twitter that the only editing done to this clip was simply enlarging the chat on screen to make it easier to read, hand-waving it away as a snarker narrative and claiming that there was no context manipulation at all, despite again only displaying a heavily filtered selection of chat messages. On stream, the context of this clip came up again, and this time Nick didn't even give a take or opinion of any kind. He just kind of trailed off and said that the objectively correct narrative behind the context of this clip was stupid and he found it funny.
No, Ethan, you don't understand. You manipulated it. You manipulated it by showing messages on the screen alongside fucking... it's so stupid, dude. The narrative behind that video is so funny to me.
Again, another instance of Nicholas not engaging in criticism when he knows that he's wrong. Essentially, just downplaying potential criticism for Ethan by hand-waving the context away. Nick failed to address this again when he reacted to iDubbbz's content deputy on Ethan Klein, stating that he knows that the chat was edited, but it was just the timing of the chat on stream that was changed and all of the messages were real and in context.
It's one chat on one stream at different points.
To make it seem like someone is coordinating an attack on you.
Love made a good point. You said, is this...
Someone is literally coordinating an attack on him. Absolutely.
Jesus,
unequivocally.
what a statement. Like, what a statement. Him saying the exact same thing that you all hear all these other... It's a coordinated attack. One guy does something, and to Ethan... that's unhinged, and it's all of Ethan's detractors.
Ethan explicitly tells you, okay, that they clipped the chat, and it's like a fucking cutout of it.
Chat. It's just enlarged there.
Oh, really?
Over the screen, yeah.
They're different, I think.
Yeah.
And like, it's directly explained to you in the stream what exactly this is. Like, Love literally says
it's not timed the same way.
It's not timed the same way. Like, all of the context is in the clip. It's not bullshit. Denims has confirmed in her own video that those messages did come from her chat.
There was never any contesting of the legitimacy of these messages. The issue is that this is a tiny percentage of the total chat messages sent during this time, and creators like Ethan and Nick lied to portray it as the sentiment of Denim's entire chat. There's only one other instance I could find of Nick addressing this lie after this. In Ethan's response to the content deputy, he outright admitted that this clip was edited and showed only a small percentage of Denim's total chat. Nick conveniently did not engage with this because he would have to take an L, and instead just started loudly reading his chat and didn't pay attention to what Ethan was saying.
Oh, so at first I made that mistake. I genuinely thought...
I want to point out that Frogan is more mature and empathetic than Ian. She said, I don't know. It depends.
Like,
it's different ways.
The guy Keemstar Orbiter.
But then, like, soon after...
I will say, though, I didn't really see Frogan engage with that. It was more like every other person than Frogan. I guess I can give Frogan a W there, but it might just be because she wasn't watched enough to see what she had to say about it.
He then went into a Remember 2016 tangent before going back to defending Ethan for spreading this lie, incorrectly stating that he showed the full context of Denim's chat in the original clip.
The shameless lie that is immediately explained, even in the clip that Ian shows.
Maybe Nick did just accidentally speak over the context of these lies that he helped push, but I believe that he still needs to expressly address these claims and acknowledge that he pushed clips out of context to justify Ethan's continual crash out over Hassan and his orbiters. Ultimately, 2025 has seen the erosion of principles from Nick regarding Ethan Klein. He went from one of his most prolific critics to excusing many of the same behaviors that he once criticized Ethan for. Nick has become Ethan's largest orbiter and will even outright lie about other creators to benefit Ethan and profit from the situation. There's now so much money and clout tied up in this situation that actively taking a fair and balanced position would severely impact Nick's revenue stream. It is simply not as profitable or popular to take a nuanced position on these controversial topics. Nick has seen tremendous success in 2025 by becoming a Klein propagandist. He went from averaging close to 1,000 to averaging around 4,000 or 5,000 concurrent viewers. But in order to do that, he had to sacrifice both his credibility and long-standing principles.
Cabal mindset.
My biggest non-H3H3 criticisms of Nick are what I refer to as his cabal mindset. Basically, his reluctance to properly criticize his close friends and a sudden desire to shield and isolate himself from nearly all criticism. This can mainly be seen in his coverage of the commentator Willie Mack's show throughout the course of the year. Willie Mack's show received a lot of criticism throughout the first half of the year for how many feel he mishandled his coverage on Destiny's criminal allegations and legal situations.
His videos are pretty bad.
Two of the main critics of Willie were the streamers Queeman and J-Stock. These two have spent extensive time covering and researching every aspect of the Destiny allegations. So when Willie Mack put out what they believed was a poorly researched video, they were quick to hop on a call with him and debate over the issues they had with his coverage. Nick took great issue with this treatment of Willie and even decided to debate Augie RFC over his treatment. Nick was clearly very bothered about how Willie was treated in this call, constantly making passive-aggressive remarks and not fully understanding the points they were making in this debate.
Well, you talked about Destiny tonight. Have you talked about all the J-Stock approved talking points? Have you gone through the list?
What are the J-Stock approved talking points?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to them, but if you didn't include them, you're sweeping.
The criticism against Willie Mack's show is, you know, all dismissible. In fact, I agree with a lot of it, honestly.
Which criticism in particular? Because it was like
he's
I thought
become
the Quentin one was a little stupid.
Half of the old YouTubers
but then I
turn
heard the
into
Kelly
complete
Jean one,
cornballs.
and
Yeah,
then I thought
it
it
never
was really
fails.
stupid.
It never fails.
And I heard the J-Stock one, and then I thought it was completely. I thought it was indefensible. I think that all the streamer people are gay.
I thought the
and they
video.
don't
Well, no.
understand how, like,
let me elaborate on my
video
point.
essays
I
are
thought
made.
the video.
To briefly summarize,
Yeah,
Queeman
he
and
hates
J-Stock were
the,
critical.
it was funny, like all of these guys. I remember watching like the New Year's stream for 2025, and they're all joking and talking about stuff and things like that. And within the course of a year, it's like all separated because they get criticized for bad takes and things like that, showing that they can't, like they want to criticize and talk about people, but they can't do the same thing to others, or they can't have others do the same thing to them because they get their little fifis hurt, right? Take criticism or argue against it in a a proper way. It just shows that they're no better than any of these other YouTubers that are out there.
Of Willie Mack for priding himself on talking to everyone involved in the Destiny situation, but not speaking to some of his main victims, and not going in depth enough on the main allegations himself. He spent half of the video talking about how President Sunday and Beckett mishandled the release of the Pixie story instead of nailing Destiny down with better research talking points. For months, Nick played up the treatment that Willie received from this community, pretending as if he was beaten and raped live or something. Nick kept making the same lame talking point about Willie Mack being too much of a normie to make good content. He's just a regular guy who doesn't have time to worry about all this online stuff.
People go crazy when I say Willie's not like internet people and he's not terminally online. He's just like some fucking guy who makes commentary videos. And I don't think it's ever been more obvious than like right now in this conversation.
Ignore him going 15 replies deep with Morale on Twitter or cutting off his connections with Chud Logic over a minor joke at his expense. He's just a normie that doesn't have time to properly research his videos.
Dude,
Nick went as far as calling this criticism a gross harassment campaign against Willie Mack, instead of what it really was. Criticism of a large creator who uploads poorly researched videos that routinely get information wrong on complex topics.
Willie has been like a fucking target of like a crazy harassment campaign from like every other person.
It's so sad to hear a YouTuber that I used to enjoy listening to say harassment campaign on the internet unironically. He's become pathetic
online, it feels like, because he's a normal guy who has normal guy takes, who posts like, I don't even want to say surface level, but great introductory videos.
Willie Mack also, by the way, had to change part of his video over the whole Destiny allegations and things like that, because he put like pictures of it in his video and the victim asked him to take them down. Like, Willie Mack has made some terrible mistakes in his videos, and yeah, if he's getting stuff wrong, he should be called out for that.
For average people to watch on terminally online internet drama. And there's just like this barrage of hatred this guy gets for like absolutely no reason, because he gets like minor things wrong in videos occasionally, which makes his entire backlog apparently like the worst content ever.
Actually, let's hear what Nick has to say about calling video criticism harassment.
Oh, you've misreported a story and gotten criticized for it? Time to pull the free speech card. Why is it harassment to not like a YouTube video? Why are you guys so fucking pathetic?
Nick has hung on to this idea that the anti-Destiny community, as he calls them, are so unhinged for the ways that they demanded that he cover Destiny that it is unreasonable to ever hear them out or respond to any of their valid criticisms. He used this treatment as an excuse to distance himself from the Queeman and JStalk communities that he once collaborated with. This distancing essentially led to Nick entering his own fortress arc of sorts and no longer participating in confrontational content or debates of any kind. Throughout 2024 and the beginning of 2025,
That's
Nick
how
had
it
occasionally
goes.
collaborated.
When you can't talk about the points, what do? You fortress arc and don't debate anyone.
With Queeman and would even sometimes raid into his streams.
I'm gonna send you to Queeman. Somebody reached out to me and they're like, you should stop going to Queeman because Queeman hates you, Nicholas Deorio. Queeman fucking hates you. Queeman's fucking chat hates you, and you're like a cuck for raiding him. It's like, I like Queeman. Queeman is friends with me. I don't care that he disagrees with me on certain things. I have absolutely no problem that it's happening. I think that if you're more bent up about it than me, you probably wouldn't be able to do very well in my position. You probably shouldn't really give me advice about
Bunty King to you?
How to handle my friends.
Now, not interacting or acknowledging this community is Nick's main strategic priority. When Nick cut off his friendship with Aiden Underground over a minor DM leak that wasn't even Aiden's fault, Nick went as far as saying, "My chief concern, above my friendship with Aiden, yes, is that I'm not forced to address this shit to my stream or Discord chat. This is incredibly weak-minded behavior from someone who criticizes others for a living. I have a general principle that if you dish out criticism, you should be at the bare minimum willing to take equal criticism in some way. And also, I could see if Queeman was some absolutely insane spurg with a minimal following like Mr. Sen, but Queeman is a creator that Nick propped up through 2024 and early 2025. During the Mudahar, Mama Max, and Bo Black's dramas, he agreed with Queeman's criticisms and even collaborated with him on some occasions. But now that Queeman has criticisms of Nick and his terrible H3H3 coverage, he writes him off as some sort of obsessive Destiny anti-fan, blocks him on all social media, and refuses to address him. Nick's sweeping in isolation peaked over the summer when he outright refused to cover Willie.
I'm going to be honest, politics has to be the lowest bar to attract an audience compared to gaming channels that focus on only gaming or silly normie stuff. Yeah, it is. It's just, if you want to get clicks and views, you can do politics, and eventually you might be able to get some kind of audience. I mean, this isn't even politics. This is just, just drama content. Like continuous drama content about the same thing over and over and over again. It's endless repeating of the same stuff.
Willie Mack's slanderous video, Hassan and his criminal friend dox and try to ruin my wedding. In this video, Willie outright lied about Queeman and JStalk running doxing communities and harboring audience members who doxed Willie and propagated information about his upcoming wedding on Kiwi farms. If you want to see more in-depth coverage of this awful video, back in August, I posted a video that fully broke down my issues with it. To briefly,
yeah, this was insane. Like, he's flat out calling Queeman a doxer when that's not the case. It's just not what happened, right?
summarize, Willie presented no evidence at all to back up these claims, and it was even revealed that this information was given to him directly by Destiny. At the time, Destiny was trying to frame JStalk and Queeman as doxers. This was so he could have justification to dox them and their communities as some sort of self-defense doxing.
I will dox.
I love drama content that doesn't focus on politics.
100%. For Anna, like, I legitimately,
what is Doobie Sin?
Being in cahoots with all these fucking weirdo A-loggers that are obsessively talking about me to every other fucking person and doing this weird pressure.
The problem is I got in on like the tail end of that. When it came to the drama, like there was the Mama Max stuff, there was some other dramas with Blow Blacks. That one was a lot of fun to watch happen. Things like that. But then it all started to kind of like go towards this Ethan stuff, and all the Ethan content started. and it just became like the commentary community is pretty much like falling apart. You have the individual people like Queeman and Chud still talk, I'm sure. Jay Stalk and Queeman have done a lot more content together. There's other little shitters around them that will make content, but it's kind of like we've been in a pretty decent like content drought when it comes to like big name dramas. Everything's kind of been like little shitters or furry pedos and things like that.
Game in the background. Anybody that's part of like those communities, in my mind, it's all Hamas to me.
Willie, being the moron that he is, played right into this narrative by doing no fact-checking and just running with Destiny's talking points. When members of the commentary community had serious issues with this video making such bold claims and presenting literally zero evidence, Nick did very briefly address this on stream. He talked about it for 3 minutes total before he claimed that it was gay interpersonal community drama and only spoke about the video one other time in his Discord.
I do remember that.
Why about probably 6 of you are in the stream? I just wanted to briefly talk about this Willie Mac show drama. I made it pretty clear that I didn't really want to do the interpersonal drama shit a couple of weeks ago, and up until this point, I've probably done as much of that as I possibly could. I'll just say, I told Willie Mac show that he should just drop this, and he should stop, he should just leave. He should just stop fighting with these people. And in retaliation, a video came out talking all about these people. So at that,
this is such a stark contrast to him going after Boblax for all the stupid shit that Boblax was doing. But when it's Willie Mac, a friend he likes, he can't possibly go after him. He's just going to step out of it. Right now, you don't have to say anything about it, but it looks bad on you when you're seemingly defending Willie Mac on this subject.
That point, there's really not much I can say or do. I gave him my opinion. He did the opposite. So now I think that him and Augie are gonna fight a lot, and I'm rooting for you to get as much content as you want out of it. And at this point, my understanding of how this is gonna move forward from here is I think that everyone's just gonna be awful. It doesn't really seem like anybody is moving into this discussion looking to have a beautiful, productive dialogue. It just seems like from here, everybody's going to start sideswiping each other. Listen, I've had to put multiple friends down over the years. You guys gather around every summer to watch Nicholas Deorio come through and assassinate another friend so you can tell me all for the next 6 months about what a huge piece of shit backstabber I am, up until the point where the next friend says 2 words out of line and all of a sudden it's banging down the door to go make me talk about it again. I think the commentary community can probably handle this one on their own. I wish you both luck in your forever war.
Nick has outright admitted in his Discord that this video was bad, but never acknowledged that Willie outright lied in his coverage and has not made any effort to retract his claims or provide proof. Nick has continued to support Willie since the release of this video. He's watched his Klein propaganda videos on stream and endorsed several pieces of his content. Any other commentator would be torn to shreds for releasing a video like this. But because Willie is in Nick's in-group, he gets a pass and will never be properly pressed for this video. Nick was always the guy who was willing to call at his friends and even burn bridges when he felt like someone was fucking up to a serious degree. Nick spent basically all of 2023 and 2024 ripping into people like Tipster and Boblax. So what exactly did Tipster and Boblax do compared to Willie? Boblax lied to Nick personally about his mental health diagnosis and publicly lied about Nick running the Content Cop Twitter page. He's a total loser who deserves to be called out for this behavior.
There was more to it than that.
This is less egregious than Willie lying because commentators like Nick called out these lies, and Boblax is a widely mocked figure that nobody takes seriously. Tipster was too eager to defend the wrong people and ended up making poor defenses for lolicon content in multiple instances. I don't think Tipster's pro-lolly, he just defended like 3 people who were involved in lolly controversies within a 1-year time frame, and it ended up looking very suspicious. In terms of commentary, he publicly cut ties with the community and would very performatively talk about how toxic everybody was. It was very well within his right to leave, but he did so in a very obnoxious and unsuccessful way. In reality, as Tommy C describes it, Nick hated Tipster so much because he broke his heart by leaving the community the way that he did.
Probably less Nick than any of them.
Yeah.
And I think Nick fucking targeted you 4 years for a reason because you broke his fucking heart. And he's not going to say that, but I will.
If Nick was so willing to cut off Tipster and Boblex for these misdeeds, you would assume that he did not actively prop up and promote a creator who still has a video on his channel with over 200,000 views, where he is smearing the reputations of several small creators. As of December 2025, Nick is still watching Willie's H3H3 slop videos on stream and sending people to check out his channel, where they can easily find this video that is full of lies and misinformation. Nick has also historically been willing to call out commentary creators who have made terrible videos.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're all losers. I don't know that most people look up to him. When it comes to the commentary community, that you very much are looking for drama. And one thing that happens with it is sometimes there's interpersonal drama. You know, what I generally liked about the commentary community when I started watching and getting into it is they would call each other out and go on each other's streams and talk about it. If they didn't agree, they would absolutely talk about it. But then there were cracks in that when they were getting called out for something, or if someone had a different opinion. And now we're at what we're at today.
That are either full of lies or blatantly dishonest, even those that he considered friends. Nick entered a years-long feud with Technicals over his awful coverage of the Zero situation, in which he lied and mischaracterized the narrative surrounding a pedophile just to win a personal feud over his enemies. Before this, these two were friends, frequently collaborating on videos and appearing on streams together. While I do have serious issues with Nick's coverage of Zaptai that I might get into another time, I do believe that he was generally in the right to call out the sweeping for Zero, and I do believe that Zero is much worse than Zaptai. Nick also spent a large portion of 2024 calling out King of Nothing for slandering Ethan Klein in one of his videos, even going as far as saying the video was borderline defamation, and saying that anything less than a full video removal should be kindly ignored and remembered upon King of Nothing's next upload. King of Nothing at least tried to show evidence of Ethan Klein being an NFT scammer, despite how poor that evidence actually was. Willie Mack never showed any evidence of Queeman or JStalk running doxing communities, and is a significantly larger creator, making it much more difficult for these smaller channels to correct the record about how Willie was lying. So in the past, Nick would proudly jump in to call out and heavily criticize these terrible creators. Nick has always made a big deal about self-policing your community to root out bad actors.
Yeah, I mean, the perfect place to hang out if you want to be never questioned on anything, right, is to hang out in a place that doesn't self-police. And Hassan's community and that sector of like far left tanky adjacent people, there's no self-policing because they can't find anyone who wants to like nobody wants to make content with them. They're all kind of trapped in their own little bubble, and they're just comfortable lying to you.
But when one of his friends...
You ever notice how like some of these people are so into calling everyone else around them stuck in a bubble, when you look at what they're doing and you're like, hey bud, maybe you should look in the mirror. Maybe this is a little bit of projection from you, right?
Friends decide to put out a slanderous hit piece, Nick declares the drama too gay and interpersonal and refuses to properly engage with it. I'm not even saying that Nick needs to completely cut off and end his friendship with Willie, but it should be the expectation in the commentary space that if a large creator makes a very poor video, other creators should be willing to call out and publicly correct the record, especially if this creator is someone that you constantly promote and associate with. It seems that in his year-long quest to become an H3H3 orbiter, Nick has forgotten these standards and principles that he once had. 2025 has seen a great many changes for Nick. It has seen him abandon most of his principles to chase a very lucrative new audience that he will gladly push straight up lies for. Nick no longer cares about the quality of his coverage, self-policing his community, or listening to criticism of any kind. Instead, he would rather rake in tremendous amounts of money and try to rock the boat as minimally as possible. I, for one, hope that in 2026, the general audience will start to see the lies that the Kleins and their orbiters have pushed, and will be more acceptable to have a nuanced position on the never-ending war between Ethan, Hassan, and Destiny. Hopefully in the new year, Nick can reevaluate some of his principles and actually address some of the major criticisms that have been levied against him. But with just how successful his biased coverage has been, that ultimately seems unlikely. Thank you to anyone who watched this all the way through. Your support means a lot. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and follow me on Twitter or Instagram. My accounts are on the screen. Or if you want to join my Discord, that's linked below.
Alright, I actually think that was a fairly decent video. I think there was some soy in it. Definitely, but the fall of, you know, YouTubers you like, you wait long enough, and that was basic. Yeah, you wait long enough and you become a loser if you know, stay on YouTube. So anyways, from there we're gonna call it a night. If you haven't liked it, like the stream on the way out. I appreciate it much as always. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe, and we will do more subjects like this. I don't know about Deorio subjects. I'm not getting into that content. Ethan, Hassan, Destiny stuff, but we do all sorts of other stuff there. Yeah, fun stream. I agree. Thank you, Red Stain. Next or Wednesday, we're probably gonna watch the video on Black Souls, the video game. I like watching stuff about fucked up video games. If you have any content you want me to watch, again, Discord's linked in the chat. Leave it there or leave it in Feed the Pig, or you can message me about it. That's fine too. But you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll see y'all on Wednesday.